It's the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. How's your Monday going? It's great to be back at work. After the weekend I had, a gazillion people staying in my house, I needed to get somewhere where I could go and relax and enjoy, and I am at that place. We are live at 1911 Cigars out here on Main Street in Cibolo. This is such a cool venue. If you're a cigar smoker, even if you're not, because they've got a lounge inside, but this outside patio area, if you could see it on our video feed, I would show it to you, but it's cool setup. They got TVs out here. Obviously, it's a BYOB facility. They've got a food truck here that's got all kinds of good stuff, from wings to loaded nachos and fries with brisket and all that good kind of stuff. Come watch Monday Night Football here at 1911 Cigars. Rudy J is going to be by, he says around 5. So we're going to say, let's say Rudy J is going to be here at 6:30 or 6. We'll see. Rudy J's, but he's coming out to hang out and watch. But it's going to be an interesting Monday night game with the Saints and the Seattle Seahawks, this game in Seattle. Now, I need the Saints to do well because of all the bye weeks. I've got Jameis Winston going and Alvin Kamara, but now I'm very concerned about the weather in Seattle because, as mentioned, I had a gazillion people staying in my house this weekend, 11. And why these people didn't get a hotel is beyond me, but and they're all from the Pacific Northwest. For my niece's nursing school graduation, they were in town. And getting most of them on a plane yesterday to go home, the travel was a nightmare getting into Seattle because of all the rain and 40-mile-an-hour winds. If you were watching the San Francisco game last night, apparently it was worse in Seattle with whatever storm system is hitting the Pacific Northwest. But you're looking for a place to come watch Monday Night Football. You want to have a good cigar. I am going to get one before long because we're outside today. And we're at a cigar place, a great cigar place at that. So we will do that. And when you walk in to their big humidor pledge, they've got those Rocky Patel Ray Lewis cigars.
Oh,
and it's just a flashback to that cigar party at the Super Bowl in Houston a few years ago. Yeah.
You know exactly which storm hit. They mentioned it several times during the broadcast.
Bomb cyclone.
Like bomb cyclone.
Bomb cyclone.
Woo!
Yeah, that's it in the Northwest. Again, Jameis, just don't throw 5 interceptions, and I'll be good. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. Not that anybody gives a damn about my fantasy team. What people do give a damn about is where is Jeff Traylor going to go? Jeff Traylor, the head football coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, will be on with us at 6 o'clock today. I will ask him if he's gotten any phone calls from the 806. I know what he's going to tell me. You know what he's going to tell us. But Jeff Traylor, let me reset. Matt Wells got fired today by the Texas Tech Red Raiders. That's not a surprise. Maybe a surprise that he gets fired before November. But I think what Kirby Holcutt, the AD there at Texas Tech, is doing is getting a jump start on all the hot coaches that he might want to go after. Jeff Traylor. Jeff Traylor's not getting the LSU job, but he can certainly get the job up there in Lubbock. And I think about what I know about Jeff Traylor, the amount of times he's been on the show and that I've gotten to know him, and I don't want to say I know him extremely well, and I don't. But I know him well enough to know that the phone's going to ring, and Jeff Traylor has a chance to go from Conference USA to the Big 12. You get a chance to go to a Power 5 school that has the potential of being good. When Cliff Kingsbury got fired, Kirby Holcutt said in that press conference that Texas Tech football needs to be elite again. They haven't done it with Matt Wells. And what Kirby Holcutt did when he hired Matt Wells was hired a buddy, somebody that he knows. Because you always look at athletic directors and try to connect the dots of who could be there. Well, he's already played that card and it didn't work. Kirby Holcutt needs somebody that can recruit Texas. Somebody that can get that Lubbock community excited about Texas Tech football again, just like Jeff Traylor did with UTSA football. Talking to a couple people that I know extremely well in Lubbock that are very connected with Texas Tech athletics. I am told there's 3 people on the short list. There are 3 candidates, really, for this job. Can't even call them finalists yet. There are 3 people that they plan on talking to. Sonny Cumbie, who is the current offensive coordinator and who is going to be the interim head coach, basically has the rest of the season as a quote-unquote audition. The other 2 candidates are Sonny Dykes and Jeff Traylor. And so when you think about what Sonny Dykes has done this year at SMU and how he's gotten them turned around, and obviously the history there in Lubbock, and Jeff Traylor. But I'm told Jeff Traylor's the top of the list. The enthusiasm, his ability to go fundraise and to just excite what's there. And being a relatively young guy, the ability, if he wants it, to have that long-term success there. And quite frankly, Texas Tech is paying $7 million for Matt Wells to go away. And I'm told that they feel like they could get Jeff Traylor cheaper than, say, a Sonny Dykes or some of these other coaches, because cheaper to Texas Tech is still more money than what UTSA can come up with to try to keep Jeff Traylor, even with this upcoming move to the American Athletic Conference. At least that's what I've been told by a guy very close to the situation up there in Lubbock, that Jeff Traylor is the top candidate, because while it will be a hell of a raise for him, it will still be cheaper for Texas Tech to go get a Jeff Traylor. I mean, you look at it. I mean, look up Matt Wells' contract. His base salary was only like $900,000, but with all the other stuff, you know, they got to give him $7 million to go away. It's going to come out to about $3 million a year. I mean, if they doubled Jeff Traylor's salary at UTSA, that's still $1 million less. And I just want one of those jobs that I can get $7 million to go away, or Ed Ogeron, who's getting $17 million to go away from LSU. You want one of those kind of jobs that you want things to work. You go there with all the right intentions that you're going to build it. But when it doesn't work and you fire me in Lubbock and I go become an undefeated head coach in the NFL or a senator, because that's where all the Texas Tech coaches end up, right? You know, you get fired and you end up, you know, working in government, or I don't know, you have the only undefeated team in the National Football League. I mean, sounds like you fall off the cliff pretty well when you are the former head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. But the idea, I was also told, because I tweeted this earlier, and my phone rang instantly. Like, dude, you are, well, I can't say it, crazy if you think Abe Riles is going to come to Lubbock. Because I do think, or did think, oh, well, I got put in my place, that either Kendall Briles, but I don't know that Kendall Briles' first head coaching job is going to be at the Big 12 level, or Art Briles, with all his connections out there. I was told there's nobody named Briles that is going to get the job in Lubbock. The fan base will not have it, which completely surprised me. But there's a couple of big-time boosters up there that spend a lot of money up there with Texas Tech athletics that apparently aren't fans of Briles, either of them, apparently. I'm told it's 3 people. Sonny Cumbie, which in reality might be just a way to keep things afloat for him, and he's got a chance to prove himself, but he's going to be the interim coach. So you give him that opportunity. Sonny Dykes, Jeff Traylor. I look at a guy like, I wonder if he's a dark horse candidate. I would like to see if Eric Morse would have an opportunity to go back up there. He's from near Lubbock. But I'm told no. I mean, just not there. 3 people. 3 people are in line for the job, and Jeff Traylor is one of them, and Jeff Traylor might top the list. Martin Alvarez on our Facebook Live says, could you please stop talking about Coach Traylor? Can you keep San Antonio's best-kept secret a secret, please? Here's the problem, dude. He's not a secret anymore. I mean, do you realize Jeff Traylor and the rock star that he is, the success that UTSA is having, has UTSA now in 2 weeks. They're on a bye this week. In 2 weeks when they play at UTEP, that game is going to be on ESPN2. ESPN2. There's a lot of talk out there when you look at the schedule, and who knows if it will happen. But there's a strong push between both schools to try to get College Game Day to show up in El Paso. That would be interesting. But Jeff Traylor is not a secret. He is this year's version of PJ Fleck. He is the hot coach that everybody's going to go after. And if it's not Texas Tech, it's another job. Do you want him to stay in Texas and recruit Texas? I don't know what other offers he's going to have. But I was told today one of the reasons why Matt Wells got fired today, not because they blew, what were they up on 24-10 on Kansas State, lose 25-24, not because of that, or the fact that they haven't had a significant win in forever. But, you know, I was told they did it now so they could get a jump start in recruiting. You could start a GoFundMe. You could do all kinds of things to keep Jeff Traylor. I think at this point it comes down to Jeff Traylor. Does he want another year in San Antonio? How much more money can Lisa Campos come up with? I mean, you go back and listen to my conversation with Lisa Campos, what was that, Thursday? And I asked her about it. She said they've had conversations. She understands what she is dealing with there, but you also have to live in the real world. Jeff Traylor's goal is not to get to Conference USA and then climb the ladder with the school to the American and go from there. It's just not. I mean, Jeff Traylor has got bigger goals. I mean, you go back and you read the article that they did on Jeff Traylor a couple weeks ago in The Athletic, where he talked to the high school coaches and basically said, you guys have the best job in the world. If it wasn't for money and ego, I'd still be a high school coach. And there's nothing wrong with him chasing the money. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's what it is.
I actually heard something fantastic with Peter Burns, who we're going to have coming up here at 4:30. He talked to Jeff Traylor this weekend on his show on ESPN Radio before laying down the law. And he was talking about Jeff Traylor thinking about climbing that ladder and what he was making starting at $12,000 a year. And then the first time when he was getting a raise out at Gilmer, and talked about going, do you think you're worth 80,000? The highest high school coach makes 80,000 this year. He's like, yeah, I think so. And he's like, well, I'm going to give you 100. And he just remembers the excitement of knowing what he was getting to do what he loves, basically, in coaching high school football.
Well, and again, I mean, you look at most high school coaches are making right at six figures or a little over. You know, I think the highest paid coach in the San Antonio area is just under 120, 125, something like that. The idea that you've got Jeff Traylor as a chance to make millions. I see April Ancira, who I might be starting a GoFundMe. Now, they've got to raise a lot of money just to go to the American Athletic Conference. And I think UTSA is in position right now to become and brace themselves and position themselves as a great stepping stone university. Because we're talking about Jeff Traylor now. How long before one of these Power 5 universities come knocking on Lisa Campos's door with what she has been able to do in such a short amount of time with UTSA? And again, strike while the iron is hot. And if you're trying to climb that ladder, that is what you have to do. Jeff Traylor caught lightning in a bottle. He's going to ride this rocket as far as he can and get to that next level. But you look at the operating budgets for UTSA and Conference USA compared to what the bigger programs in the American are. You know, when we had Pete Thamel on from Yahoo, who broke the story about UTSA and the other 5 Conference USA schools jumping, I mean, he talked about it. I mean, it's great to get a seat at the table, but once you get there, you've got to maintain. You know, they still have to build a convocation center, which they have plans on doing, a new baseball stadium. But now you're in the big arms race where the facilities are going to be there. The donors have to be there where, you know, I mean, UTSA doesn't have the donor money like a Texas or a Texas A&M or the bigger programs where you've got people that are just earmarking lots of money. But UTSA, you know, if you can get on one of those plans where it's, you know, $50 a month just charged to your credit card, 25, 100, whatever it is, they need that just to be able to stay competitive, but become the good stepping stone school. You know, let's say Jeff Traylor leaves and, you know, because it's Matt Wells got fired today, let's say he takes the Texas Tech job. Well, UTSA is going to be a more attractive job for the next up and comer. And then you become that springboard for that guy to get to the next level. And then you go from there. And there's nothing wrong with being a program like that. There are a lot of programs like that you become the destination where coaches want to go. Great recruiting, great facilities, all of that, but it's going to set you up for the next job. And that's living in reality for UTSA. Unless Jeff Traylor's wife says, I ain't moving. I mean, unless Jeff Traylor's wife doesn't want anything to do with West Texas, since they're East Texas types. And they offer them that kind of money, how do you say no? And how can you be mad at the man for doing that? You can't. You shouldn't. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, that's UTSA is that. And the fact that he got it to this level. You know, you look at, started with Larry Coker, what Frank Wilson accomplished in his first year, and again, got UTSA to a bowl game, stuck around, and now he's at McNeese State. That's why you start and strike while the iron is hot. Couple of bad down years, and all of a sudden, Texas Tech isn't calling. I mean, that's what it boils down to. A friend of mine just said he's going to text his wife and tell him how crappy it is to live in Lubbock. I mean, it is. I mean, you get sand all over your car all the time. It's hard to sit out on the back patio. I mean, you got crap in your pool always. I mean, the perks they try to offer you to live in Lubbock, they're just not worth it. You can't find good Mexican food out there. I mean, there's a lot of reasons not to go. Although I don't think
pile up in your front yard.
Yeah, well, when you're making that kind of money, you find somebody that removes the tumbleweeds and cleans the pool. I mean, let's face it. It's still Lubbock. And they've got an athletic director who is on the hot seat. An athletic director that has to make the right hire, and a hire that is going to excite the Texas Tech fan base and donate money to that program. And Jeff Traylor is going to be able to do that. Again, he will join us at 6 o'clock. I will ask him, but I know what the answers are going to be. I know damn well he's not going to answer any questions. But what I do know and believe about Jeff Traylor is he'll be honest. As honest as he can. But it is what it is, and it's living in reality. He is a rock star coach right now that is doing all kinds of things. And as I mentioned, April Ansira starting the GoFundMe. We've got to figure out with Jeff Traylor. Security in his office there, because apparently April Ansira dressed up as Jeff Traylor and went and did some Halloween photos on his desk. Her husband was dressed up as the cheese. I mean, it's a funny photo shoot, but how do you get in the head coach's office and then you stand on his desk and his rolly chair? But also, I want to know about Jeff Traylor's hats. That man wears the same thing every game, right? His hats never get dirty. I can't have a white hat for a week without it being dirty. How does Jeff Traylor always have perfectly crisp white hats? I mean, it was in April's photo, and there was another one on his desk. I want to know what his secret is to keeping white hats. But Jeff Traylor will join us at 6 o'clock. But I'm told right now, 3 candidates to replace Matt Wells: Sonny Cumbie, Sonny Dykes, Matt Wells. That's it. That is it. And the money that Tech can offer is double what UTSA can hope to offer with their current budget. We'll talk more about that coming up. It was a weird Sunday, weird weekend, which actually worked out really well because, like I said, I had 11 people. If people say, I'm coming, and you're having an event like a graduation, and even when you offer to pay for a hotel, like, no, we'll stay at the house. Just get the damn hotel for those people and make them leave your house. I mean, your bathrooms in your house are not designed for stadium flushing. And when you have 11 people staying in your house, it's nuts. And I'm glad they're all gone. But it's hard to entertain 11 people, right, that are staying in your house. Then we had the big party. So my football watching was a little scarce yesterday, but it was a weird day in the NFL. We'll talk about it coming up. Daryl Moose Johnston, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He will join us at 5:30 for Mondays with the Moose. What's wrong with Kansas City? Is Kansas City going to be able to recover? Is Kansas City just done this year? I mean, that was ugly yesterday by the Kansas City Chiefs. Ugly. The Houston Texans, we'll talk with Clint Stoerner at 6:30, but I doubt we'll talk Texans. We'll probably talk more Astros in the World Series with Clint Stoerner because the Texans just are not worth talking about. I mean, I know they had that 5-0 lead yesterday over the Cardinals, but you knew damn well it wasn't going to hold up, and it didn't. They have not scored on the road more than 3 points in, the last 3 road games under their rookie quarterback, Davis Mills, and their coach continues to say they're happy with this play. And they still haven't traded Deshaun Watson, although Deshaun is eager to get out of Houston, that he's gone from Miami or bust to, I'll go to anywhere but Philadelphia when it comes to trade demands. I mean, Pledge, I know you're washed up and eat up all the cheese on when it comes to where Deshaun Watson is going to end up and what your Texans are going to get in return. What is the ultimate destination now for Deshaun Watson, and will it get done before the trade deadline?
It's a great question, because I think about it, and of course, having another person and Deshaun willing to go somewhere else helps when you're trying to move on from him, at least in negotiations of trying to maximize the potential. But at the same time, that number of teams possibly expands 3-4-fold if you wait until the draft and try and move him then. Plus, instead of only being able to go 3 years out with draft picks, you can go up to 4 years out, including this year's draft when you trade closer to the draft after the season's over.
You know, it's such an interesting debate because right now you're dealing with desperate teams that are willing to pay more. You got a Dolphins owner that's pissed. Will he be willing to pay more? You get Sam Darnold benched. Carolina's now in the mix. The Eagles are a dumpster fire, but their owner would be willing to right now. You get into the draft and you fall in love with a quarterback, depending on where you're picking and what you think you might be able to do, or all of that's in play. There's no guarantees you actually get more come draft time. And Nick Caserio is holding out for the absolute best deal. Whether he gets it or how quickly he wants this to be gone. Because the other thing, that if you trade him before the deadline, forget about could I increase his value close to the draft and create more teams competing against each other, to as this moves to the next calendar year and that court case starts to unfold, you could be looking at jail time. You could be looking at what the suspension is going to look like. By then, Roger Goodell might announce what the suspension is, and as more and more things get opened up to NFL investigators, because right now the NFL investigators aren't privy to some information because it is still part of the police investigation and some confidential stuff. So as the NFL investigators learn more, what if Roger Goodell suspends them? And I think Nick Caserio wants that to be somebody else's problem. Let me take what I can get and just not even have to worry about it anymore. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. We'll also talk about that dude that Mike Evans gave the football to after Tom Brady threw his 600th touchdown pass. He gave it back. He got a $1,000 gift card. He's supposed to get a couple of jerseys and maybe a helmet or whatever. And I think it's a Bill O'Brien type trade. That's an awful deal if you're the guy that was given a football that memorabilia experts say it's worth at least $500,000. At least $500,000 for that football on the collection, on the memorabilia market. He did the right thing by giving that ball back to Tom Brady. He did. But a $1,000 gift card at the team store seems kind of cheap. You know, season tickets for the next 10 years. Tom could afford that. The Bucs could afford that. A jersey, a helmet. That ball was worth $500,000, and he gets $1,000 at the team store. So all he can go do is buy Tampa Bay Buccaneer stuff. That felt like DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona. It was an interesting trade. It probably had to happen, but did Bill O'Brien broker that for him? Was OB in the stand saying, "No, man, that's good. That's a good deal. Make that happen." I appreciate that he gave the ball to Tom. Tom deserves to keep that ball. But he should get so much more in return than $1,000 at the team store. You know? Yeah, Greg Shelton says, give him a car. He should get all the UGG boots that he wants and dinner with Giselle. I mean, it's $500,000. That ball is worth $500,000.
He did say that he just wants to play around to golf with Tom.
All right. I mean, Tom didn't agree with that, but if that's what he wants, I mean, that'd be kind of fun too. I mean, Tom has proven to be, since he made it to Tampa Bay, a kind of guy you want to go have a beer with. Although I'd make sure Giselle showed up at the dinner after that round of golf, but that's just me. Let's talk more about college football and what's going on with Jeff Traylor. Peter Burns from the SEC Network will join us next here on the Blitz. You know, I was just mentioning having a whole bunch of people staying in my house. The great thing is my toilet survived, but I was ready. I had 651-5899 in my phone ready to go. That is the number to Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. If your toilets are working overtime, you have an issue because, you know, that kind of stuff always happens when you have a house full of people. Quarter Moon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quarter Moon, they do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. Whether you've got issues with your AC or your plumbing, they're great. Your heater as well. And while you don't need your heater today, in fact, it's a great day to be outside on a patio, you need to get your heater tuned up and ready for the winter months that are coming. At Quarter Moon, they have great maintenance programs that ensure your unit is ready for every season, and now is the time to get those heaters tuned up. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Call them 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com. Let's get a Sports Center update with James Pledger. Pledge.
Thanks, Jason. Well, in the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs have lost 2 straight. They're now 1-2 on the season after a 121-111 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks over the weekend. Doug McDermott would lead the way with 25 points, going 7 of 11 from 3, and Keldon Johnson added 20 in the loss. They'll return to action tomorrow when they take on the Lakers. The Houston Astros and Atlanta Braves will face off in the World Series tomorrow night, a game you can actually catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Framber Valdez will get the start for Houston, while former Astro Charlie Morton gets the start from Atlanta. Another Astro news, reports are starting pitcher Lance McCullers will not be a part of the World Series roster as he's still dealing with forearm tightness. In college football, the UTSA Roadrunners moved up from 24th to 23rd in the AP poll as they remain unbeaten with a 45-16 win over Louisiana Tech. Next weekend's game against the UTEP Miners has now been picked up and will be aired on ESPN2 on November the 6th. The Texas A&M Aggies moved up from 17th to 14th following their 44-14 win over South Carolina. And the Texas Tech Red Raiders fired head coach Matt Wells today as they're 5-3 after a 25-24 loss to Kansas State over the weekend. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Like a lot of women these days, Mackenzie Tudor knew exactly what she wanted in an engagement ring.
I'm a big fan of Pinterest. I've been studying this for years.
She wanted a pear-shaped diamond in a certain designer setting, but became frustrated quickly when most jewelers just didn't have it.
You can go in a lot of diamond stores and they don't have the pear shape. They may have one option. They may have 2 if you're lucky.
Then she and her boyfriend Tim found Diamonds Direct, with one of the largest selections of loose diamonds in America in stock every day.
Diamonds Direct had more than dozens of the exact size and shape of diamond that I was looking for.
And because Diamonds Direct carries all the top bridal designer lines, names like Verragio and Simon G, finding the ideal setting was just as easy.
The styles at Diamonds Direct, they go right along with Pinterest. They are exactly what every girl's looking for.
Diamonds Direct, the exact diamond you want, the designer ring you've been dreaming of. No compromise necessary.
I can't say enough about how many compliments I get on my ring from Diamonds Direct every day.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
For nearly 30 years, Thomas J. Henry has fought day in and day out for every client we've had the honor of representing. In our town, in our community, we will always be the name you trust. Thomas J. Henry. Available 24/7 nights and weekends. San Antonio, Texas.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Welcome to Texas, where the sun is beaming down and can damage the interior of your car, even in lower temperatures. Unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo since 1984.
1984? That's impressive.
Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. San Antonio and Austin stores. motherswindowtint.com.
Remember, do it at Mother's and save!
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Your exclusive home for the 2021 World Series. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at 1911 Cigars here in Cibolo, right off Main Street. Come out, hang out, watch Monday Night Football, Saints and Seahawks tonight. They got their food truck going. It's BYOB establishment. Great spot to come hang out, watch the game tonight. 1911 Cigars. Let's talk some college football with Peter Burns from the SEC Network. Burns, I know you had Coach Traylor on your show. You were in town and got to visit with Coach Traylor at the race facility. Matt Wells gets fired today. I've got a guy in Lubbock to tell me there's 3 candidates for the job. Only 3. Sonny Cumbie, Sonny Dykes, Jeff Traylor, and Traylor is the top of the list. What realistically can UTSA do to try to keep Jeff Traylor if the Big 12 comes calling?
I mean, what else can you do, right? You know, a lot of people say, well, you need to promise facilities, but Minix, I was there this week. I was absolutely floored. Like people could have described, you could have described what the facilities were at UTSA, and I'd be like, no way in hell they look like that. And I came in, and Dr. Campos gave me a tour of it. I was like, this is crazy. So just before we get into that story, before we get into, the Texas Tech situation, I want to go through and talk about Dr. Campos, what she did at UTSA. So me, my buddy Charles Dixon and Court Watson, former UTSA golfers, we had just played golf. We're walking to the campus and facility. We just want to see all the changes since we left. And we're trying to get into the building and see if somebody let us in. Nobody let us in. So we're walking back to the parking lot, and all of a sudden, 2 people come back out of the facility, and they go, "Hey, can we help you?" And we're like, "Oh, well, we're former golfers. We just never seen this facility." And she's like, "All right, well, let me take you around." And then, halfway, right in the lobby, she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm Dr. Lisa Campos, the athletic director." I'm like, "What? You just randomly came out and saw a couple of guys asking if you can help them out, and you're the athletic director?" I'm like, this is why it's working at UTSA is that. So we toured the facility, saw the coach, and it was great. But to answer your question, normally it's building facilities, and you got some of the best. And normally it's, hey, can you be a top 25 team? Well, you got a top 25 team, right? I mean, the next thing you could do is say, hey, listen, we need to have either our own stadium, which I'm not sure how feasible that is, or you have to have people show up to support UTSA football, which clearly there's enough space for it in the Alamo Dome. That alongside what Wu-Tang said, cash rules everything around me. It's all about the money, dollar bills, y'all.
Well, that's it. And that's where I look at. Jeff Traylor is going to get more money from UTSA just with the idea that they're moving up in conferences to the American. And I look at Coach Ken up at Navy makes 2.1 a year. That's more than doubling what Jeff Traylor is getting now. Matt Wells is getting $7 million to go away. Financially right now, I just don't know how UTSA competes with the team from the Big 12. And I think UTSA needs to position itself as that stepping stone school. Come here and get your dream job in the Power 5. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, for now, right? If that's the case now, but hey, listen, we see how teams progress. Go back and look at years ago when you're talking about UCF, right? And you're thinking, okay, all right, they're starting up a program. They'll be okay. It's Florida. And all of a sudden they built it into a place where people will take it seriously. And with an expanded playoff now, all of a sudden, I think you can actually sell the idea that, listen, you could go to a college football playoff if you catch lightning in the bottle, right? You're a top 25 team right now, and if you go into the American, and of course, it'll be a little bit tougher playing in that conference, but you become a player in that conference, and you can compete for a college football playoff. So, again, I think it'll probably come down to money. And what I love about Coach Traylor is that, hey, he was talking about the first job he ever had, like at Big Sandy, was like for $10,000 a year, and he got into it for coaching. And I guarantee you, one way or another, whether he gets a Texas Tech job or renegotiates a contract, he will be making there'll be 2 commas in his annual salary, and that's well deserved.
It certainly is well deserved. And again, his goal, he told, I was reading an article in The Athletic last week where they reported that he was talking at the high school coaches convention and told all those high school coaches, you guys have the best job in the world. If it wasn't for money and ego, I'd still be a high school coach, which tells me that dude's goal is to get to the Power 5. And, and there's nothing wrong with that. UTSA fans should not be mad at Jeff Traylor when he leaves for a job in the Big 12. If it ends up being that, he's this year's PJ Fleck, and you got to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, I understand it, but again, maybe I shouldn't have had him on Saturday. Maybe I just need to badmouth him the rest of the way, so that way I'll make some phone calls up to Texas Tech. No offense to Coach Traylor, I'll be like, nah, he's not ready. He needs at least another 2 or 3 years out of UTSA to get what he needs. No,
whatever
I
it
can't
takes.
Even say that.
That or just send his wife photos of tumbleweeds and sand in the pool and, the car that used to have the nice paint job that's been sandblasted by all the dust storms there in Lubbock. There's a lot of negatives out there for an East Texas guy, West Texas. You just can't go that way. Peter Burns from the SEC Network joining us here on the Blitz. It was a weird college football weekend when you looked at the schedule of games. Texas obviously was off. A&M might as well have been off. They kind of had a bye with South Carolina. When you late October, I kind of start to expect things to start shaking out. Are they in your mind starting to shake out to where everybody's where you thought they would be, especially like 1 through 15 in the polls?
Yeah, for the most part. Again, it almost shook out a lot, right? Cincinnati was struggling with Navy and that triple option. I know you were probably you were watching that closely, and then. On the flip side of it, Oklahoma, it took, Caleb Williams, stealing the ball from Kennedy Brooks to even save that game against Kansas, which was embarrassing, which, again, Oklahoma is not a top 5. Hell, I'm not even sure if they're a top 10 team other than the brand and the logo on their helmet. So, I think we find out a lot coming up this week, right? Georgia and Florida are going to play in Jacksonville. So we find out, hey, is Georgia legit and for real, which I do think they are. And, the game in East Lansing, you got Michigan and Michigan State. The job that Mel Tucker has done at Michigan State has been fantastic. And Harbaugh is one of the most interesting stories. For a couple of years, he led all of college football talk. And is he overrated, blah, blah, blah. Remember, he took almost a pay cut of like 50%, Minix. And all it did is relaxed him. It relaxed the team. And he says, hey, why don't you pay me less money? Don't fire me. But if we do well, I'll make more. And I wish now that we get into more athletic directors doing those type deals than just guaranteeing a bunch of money.
Well, and that's it. You get so much that goes away. Now, we talk about guaranteeing a bunch of money. I mentioned Matt Wells, $7 million to go away. Ed Ogeron, $17 million to go away from your school, LSU, right? I mean, who's going to end up with the LSU job? What are you hearing in the SEC network offices?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm hearing is a lot of smoke screens, right? I mean, everybody, texts me and just they'll throw out a name, and what you realize is just a bunch of agents trying to get their name out there. I mean, the common names that are out there is Mel Tucker and what he's done. I mean, Nick Saban has hired Mel Tucker 3 different times. I mean, that's a pretty good reference to have on your resume. James Franklin at Penn State's getting a little bit of run, of course. I mean, look at the coach that just beat him this week, Lane Kiffin. I mean, a couple years ago, before Lane Kiffin took the FAU job, it was told to me that he called Ed Ogeron and said, let me come to LSU. I want to be your offensive coordinator. And they agreed upon it. And then all of a sudden, FAU came up with a head coaching job. So he decided to take the FAU job, which in hindsight worked out pretty well for him, now that he's at Ole Miss. So I think Lane will be in that discussion. And honestly, I think Scott Woodward, the athletic director, likes to go big. And if I'm thinking go big, go give a phone call out to Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. I love what the program that he's built. And if you got him around the 4 or 5-star athletes at LSU, they could do some pretty damaging things.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Peter Burns from the SEC Network. Always fun catching up, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Enjoy Cibolo, the home of the great Jimmy Walker, golfer out there. So later, boys.
Absolutely. We'll get some cigars here at 1911. Jimmy Walker, absolutely, who actually, interesting, because when Jimmy Walker was living here, he had to go to New Braunfels Canyon for high school because steel wasn't a thing, the way the boundaries were. So he's a Canyon Cougar, technically speaking, at least from the high school standpoint. We'll talk more about that coming up. We'll talk with Daryl Moose Johnston, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He'll join us at 5:30. RJ Ochoa joins us at 5. Jeff Traylor, the head coach of UTSA, will be on at 6 o'clock. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. For stress-free bail bonds, it's AA Best Bail Bonds, license number 149. Call 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Score $1,000 now. Enter the winning keyword, cool. COOL. Cool at SASportsStar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you're shopping for a new vehicle, you need to go see my friends at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. Very easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a long-time Ancira customer. Through the years, I've bought many vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. They have that great customer service. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with the options and features that you're looking for. Great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner. The Halloween parties at the Rue Pub have become legendary. Plan now. The biggest Halloween party in San Antonio will be Saturday, October 30th. Get your costume ready. The Rue Pub closes off part of the parking lot and will have DJs outside and inside the Rue and Angry Elephant and a $1,000 costume contest. The Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. Plan now for the 8th annual Rue Pub Halloween block party on Saturday, October 30th. We'll see you at the Rue and wear a costume. Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Exam 4 needs to be sanitized.
Mersana's MRI clinic isn't operating at max efficiency. She needs a new certified tech certifiably now.
Someone's waiting in room 2 for an ACL scan. Can you handle that?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Wake up to Wendy's and get a bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss breakfast croissant for just $1.99. Made with fresh cracked eggs and served on a hot buttery croissant that's fluffy enough to sleep on. It's time to wakey. Hit the Wendy's drive-thru and get your bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss breakfast croissant for just $1.99. That's a better breakfast for just $1.99. Only at Wendy's. We got you.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Third-party delivery prices may vary. Not valid in the combo.
The Fall Classic. The World Series lives here. Don't miss a pitch, stolen base, acrobatic catch, or home run.
It is gone.
The World Series from San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Carl Schoening, and you're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at 1911 Cigars in Cibolo here on Main Street. Great place to come watch Monday Night Football tonight. And I'm going to guess they'll have the World Series on as well, starting tomorrow. Game 1 between the Astros and Braves is tomorrow. You can listen to it here on San Antonio Sports Star. We'll have games 1 and 2. And probably the rest of them, unless we got high school football on Friday. I haven't seen the schedule. I think Friday, actually, it might be the travel day, but I'll figure that out later in the week. But 1911 Cigars, great spot. Greg Williams, one of the owners here, thanks for having us out, man.
Man, I'm glad you guys decided to come out. I'm having a good time listening to your show, man.
Well, when we and thank you, first off. Thank you. I know I described what you have out here. You can probably describe what you have out here better, because this is like the biggest patio in San Antonio. TVs, you can watch the game, hangouts, BYOB. So that makes it very convenient for you, right? But it's just a great place to come hang out, smoke a cigar, and drink and watch a game.
Absolutely, man. We got a fantastic indoor membership lounge as well, but the patio probably seats about 200 people. We've got about 5, 6, maybe 10 TVs out here. And it is a BYOB facility. We have events out here, live bands. We have DJs. In fact, we just purchased a food truck, so you can get food out here as well.
All right, so the food truck is going.
Yes.
You heard my favorite word earlier, brisket.
Got it.
Tell me what you got going on in the food truck.
Man, we got wings. So we have 6-piece and 8-piece wings, gargantuan wings. You can get those with fries or without fries. We have brisket nachos. We have loaded fries that come with brisket as well. And we're going to be adding some more things as the winter months come along.
Very nice. And again, just a great place to come out. Now, I know Rudy J was out here for a concert that he had about a week ago. And I know he's coming out here today. He told me 5, so we'll see Rudy J around 6.
Yep.
And nothing wrong with that, right?
No.
I like to smoke a good cigar.
Yeah.
I'm a Rocky Patel guy.
Okay.
I'm not an aficionado, right? I walk into your humidor, and he's told me, go in there and get this or get that or try this. For a guy that enjoys a cigar but doesn't know what he's doing, when I walk into 1911, how much do you help a customer with the cigar purchase if they really aren't sure?
Absolutely. Every time we have a guest come into our establishment, we take them into the humidor, and we talk through cigars. We ask what they typically smoke, what they don't smoke. They want to be in a medium, mild, or full body type of cigar, and we talk them through the sticks. We have a great selection of some of your mainstream cigars, but we also have a lot of boutique cigars a lot of folks don't know about. And so we pride ourselves in pushing those smaller companies as well as some of the larger companies as well.
Well, Rudy was telling me that you have cigars here that you can't find in other places.
That is absolutely the truth.
All right. So when you say boutique, you mean the hard to find, the rare.
Yes.
You know, there. I mean, it's worth the drive out here if you're not close by.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, we have our house blend cigars that we get manufactured out of Nicaragua that we can't keep them in stock. You know, I dropped a big order today of 15 different bundles of them, and as soon as we get them in, they fly off the shelves.
Well, that's awesome. Now, Rocky Patel, I met him at a Super Bowl cigar party years ago, and I like the cigar, right? But I've been pretty consistent with that because I don't know any better.
Yeah.
And I know it's a good name brand cigar, and it's a good cigar. But if I'm a Rocky Patel type, what are some other cigars I should try?
Man, if you Rocky Patel, some boutique cigars you probably should try is Ochoa, which is one shot, one kill. The blender's out of Houston, Texas. Edgar Halal, fantastic guy. He also does a house blends for us as well. Another one you would probably want to try is some Oscar cigars by Oscar Balladares. He's out of Houston, but he's originally from Honduras. I actually know the blender for his company.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, it is.
And the humidor is huge.
Yeah.
You got plenty in stock.
We do.
So if you're a cigar smoker, you need to get out here to 1911. 1911 Cigars on all the social channels.
Absolutely.
And you got a lot of stuff there, all the different events you're doing. And this patio is incredible.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I mean, just hanging out here, great place to watch the game. Now, I know you're a Saints fan. That's the only knock against you. but we'll go from there.
Yeah. Diehard Saints fan, man. And we got a group of guys coming out tonight to watch it. And some of them are decided to rent some of our cabanas, in which I did talk about earlier.
Oh, yeah. You got cabanas for private parties and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we got private cabanas. Each cabana has a TV in it, fire pit, its own heater. If you want to come out, you don't want to watch with some of the main screens that we have on the patio, you can watch whatever you want to watch. We have the fights. We have the games. Definitely going to be watching the World Series.
You got it all. And one other thing I want to mention. Thank you for your service. You're active duty military right now.
21 years on Saturday.
21 years on Saturday.
Yeah.
That means you're close to retirement.
Very close.
How
about a year and a half.
About a year and a half?
Yeah.
You're done?
Yeah.
You're done. And congrats to your son, Naval Academy guy.
That's right. Graduated in June. He's down in Virginia Beach right now.
Go Navy. I know you're Army, but go Navy.
Beat Army.
Go Navy. Beat Army. You said it right.
I said it.
You said it. You said it. You said it right.
Hey, listen, Naval Academy sent me about 450,000 education. I'm all about it.
That's it. Go Navy, right?
That's right. Beat Army.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Are you going to the game this year?
I may.
Army Navy game in New York?
You know, we may do that. It all depends on how everything shakes out. You know, we're definitely thinking about it. I mean, we've gone for the last 5 years, so.
It is the best experience. I say this all the time. We, outside of last year, because of COVID, I've been able to go since 2009 every year to the Army Navy game with USAA. Yeah. And it is, now I'm a Navy guy. My dad was retired Army, so it was always a lot of fun. And my brother's in the Army, but for so many years, Navy never lost Army. So it was a good 13-year run of getting wins. But it is the best event to go to. But this year, in New York on the 20th anniversary of 9/11, the stuff they have planned for that game is worth the trip up there.
Yeah. So we may do it.
Yeah.
I may see you up there.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm counting on you to show up with the cigars.
Oh, I'm coming. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Greg Williams from 1911 Cigars, a great veteran-owned business. Can I say veteran-owned, even though you're active duty?
No, my business partner is retired.
All right, good. All right, yeah, good veteran-owned business you want to come support out here in Cibolo.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you having us out today.
Thank you for
coming. And come hang out, meet the guys, get a good cigar. And again, if you need help getting a cigar, they will make sure you get the one that you want.
That's absolutely true.
You know, and I'm going to get one. April Williams on our Facebook Live feed says, "That's my husband." I should turn the camera around and
that is
show
April
off
with 2 L's.
I will show that off a little bit. Look at that. Mrs. Williams, thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate that for sure. Greg, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
I imagine she's coming out later.
Maybe.
She's
got an Instagram thing she's doing live later, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You guys stay busy.
We do.
Stay busy. Active duty. And he's running this place, and it's a great spot. Come out and see us here at 1911 Cigars in Cibolo, right on Main Street. The food truck, I'm ready for it to open up. I just am. As we continue here on the Blitz, we got a lot to talk about today. 3-time Super Bowl champion Daryl Johnston. The Moose will join us at 5:30 for Mondays with the Moose. Jeff Traylor will join us at 6. I will ask him about the rumors. You know damn well he's not going to answer the questions about all the job rumors, but it's my job to ask, and he knows that, and he won't answer, and we will talk about the game. The fact that they went into Ruston, a place that UTSA, it's just been nothing but nightmares. And it started off kind of iffy on whatever crap broadcast that was. I don't know if we need to talk about just how bad that TV version was. I don't know. It is 2021. Can I get down and distance on my screen? I mean, honestly, we do that for our high school games. Can we get down and distance on the screen? But it was great to be able to watch them. But boy, when they started flexing that game, they went in there and kicked some butt. We'll talk to Jeff Traylor about that as well. And again, the World Series is going on. And Pledge tells me we've got tickets to give away for Corny Maze, the 4th annual Corny Maze happening down at Traders Village. It is San Antonio's only Corny Maze, 10 acres of mazes. Tickets are only $9.99 a person. Kids under 2 are free. $5 more, you can get the all-you-can-ride pass. So that's certainly worth it. We've got 4-packs that we're giving away all week long on R&R in the morning, halftime, and the Blitz. If you don't win them, you can get them at tradersvillage.com. But, Pledge, we got a 4-pack to give away right now. Let's do it. What are they, $9.99 a ticket? We'll give them to caller number 9, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 9, you get those tickets to the 4th annual Corny Maze out at Traders Village, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. RJ Ochoa joins us next. You know you want the best water quality for your family. Jason Minnick's here for Alamo Water Softeners. Now, I've told you before how great having a water softener is. I had family in town this weekend that are from the Pacific Northwest. And my 2 sister-in-laws, stuff that I don't think about, they get out of the shower and they're talking about how great the water felt on their hair. Because, I guess in the Northwest and they're living in houses that don't have it, but you feel the difference on your hair, your skin, everything. It just makes life better. So whether you have a new build or an older home, Alamo Water Softeners has a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Go to alamowatersofteners.com, schedule an appointment, and one of their whole home specialists will come out to your house and give you a free water analysis and a customized plan for your family and your home. And you can choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle, where you can get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, a +1 filter, and a reverse osmosis system. That's while supplies last. Do like I've done. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Do you have what it takes to rock the mic?
Hey, this is RJ Ochoa.
Hi, this is Carolina Teague.
Hey, Santonio, it's Thomas Mott.
Slacker Sports Bar presents Rock the Mic. Now is the time to submit your 1-minute or less sports take video clip at sasportstar.com. From there, we narrow down to the top 12 finalists with 4 rounds of live in-person auditions. Who will be the 2021 Rock the Mic champ? It could be you. Rock the Mic, presented by Slacker Sports Bar and in part by Jim Beam.
Your dream vacation doesn't include your spouse? It may be time for a permanent getaway. Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Pulling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
Welcome to Texas, where the sun is beaming down and can damage the interior of your car, even in lower temperatures. Unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo since 1984.
1984? That's impressive.
Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. San Antonio and Austin stores. MothersWindowTint.com.
Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from all over America, even Los Angeles and New York, now come here to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selections of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 20 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in America that is able to offer a large selection of rare and precious GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare, precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, quality, and unmatched value. And a short drive for you. Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
From the Mother's Window Tent Studio, one team, one mission, KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at 1911 Cigars in Cibolo, right on Main Street. We're here till 7 o'clock tonight, and then we're going to have a nice party here at 1911 Cigars watching Monday Night Football, Saints and Seahawks, in a game that's going to feature probably more bad weather than what we saw last night in that San Francisco Colts game. You know, the weird storm that has hit the Pacific Northwest. It's supposed to rain a lot. So I looked at the over-under, and it certainly seems very manageable to hit the over. But I don't know how high-scoring of a game this is going to be. And if you're having to, like me, start Jameis Winston this week because, you know, the Bills had a bye week, you just hope he doesn't have one of those 5-turnover games in the crap weather. You know, I'm down. I should win. But I'm down. I got Jameis Winston and Alvin Kamara. So root for bad Seahawks defense tonight, if anything else, for me. Daryl Moose Johnston will join us coming up in about 30 minutes for Mondays with the Moose. We're tracking down RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com, and Pledge has him now, apparently not on video, just on phone. RJ Ochoa, what's going on, my friend? As
I'm
the
here
video
in
pops
How
on.
dare you? How dare you assume I wouldn't be here for the video? I want to see the cigar shop. I want to see you smoking a cigar and a pancake.
You will soon. You will soon. I'm pacing. I'm waiting a little bit, but this place is pretty awesome, man. We're outside on their patio. The humidor is inside. And RJ, you know what they have here? Inside their humidor, they have the Ray Lewis edition Rocky Patels for sale.
Well, you know, the cool kids get those for free. And jeopardize their lives in the process. I'll just say that.
Every time I see a Ray Lewis Rocky Patel cigar, I laugh and then I look over my shoulder. I just, you know, I think about that Super Bowl in Houston. I don't know that we've ever told this story live on the air completely, and I don't know that we ever should tell the story live on the air completely. But those Ray Lewis Rocky Patel cigars, and they're really good cigars. They just bring back fond memories of the cigar party in Houston. I'll tell you the story later, man.
In general. Yeah, cigar parties in general. You forget in Minnesota when I secured, a case of free cigars because of my history of watching reality television. So you're welcome for that.
Yeah. So, and we can't tell the story live on the radio, but look what they just brought out. Does that give you the same kind of flashback that it gives me?
Seeing them in your hands without you paying anything for them definitely brings some flashbacks to mind.
You know, the only difference here is I'm sober compared to that night at the cigar party in Houston, and Ray Lewis is nowhere to be found to say, hey, what are you doing? I'll tell you guys the story later. It's one of those we can't, just for evidence reasons, we can't really talk. Can't perjure ourselves. We can't. It's security concerns. I mean, it was a party where they were handing out free cigars. We didn't know there was a limit. I'm just going to put it that way. Or a personal stash. that might have been Ray Lewis's. We had no idea.
I think it was.
So
pretty
how about
obvious,
those
but again,
Cowboys, RJ?
Hey, they first week of the season, no Trayvon Diggs interception. I'm the first person to make that joke. A prosperous bye week in some capacities. Not the best bye week in terms of other results, but how about those Colts? They got a win. We're rooting for that. I mean, lots of nice things happening for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I look at this weekend in the National Football League, and it was an odd weekend, and it worked out perfectly for me because I had, RJ, 11 people staying in my house this weekend for my niece's graduation. I still am not sure why they didn't go get a hotel. There was people sleeping on air mattresses on the floor, and after the party Saturday night, I think some people just woke up where they fell asleep the night before. It was a good party, but I didn't get to watch as much football on Sunday as I normally do. Just because there was so much going on. But what I did notice, and watching a lot of Red Zone with the Chiefs, at what point are we legitimately concerned that the Chiefs are not going to turn it around this year?
It depends how you define turn it around, first of all. But
playoff team, Super Bowl run. I mean,
they'll be a playoff team, and they'll probably be bounced in the wild card round. Because look, I'm not trying to sit up here from my glass house as a Cowboys fan and cast aspersions on other teams and talk like, the Cowboys have accomplished something wonderful and great. But if we're being frank, I don't think the Chiefs can take a punch. The Chiefs are not the type of team that I think can go to Baltimore, go to Tennessee, go to Cincinnati in the wild card round and deal with, those rabid fan bases and have success. They're not. They are a team. And I think that, I was really bothered by Andy Reid's quote at the end of the game saying, I'm seeing some things I haven't seen before. Yeah, y'all are trash. That's what you're seeing. Like, own up to it. It feels like there's this, there's this denial from them. Like, no, it's going to click. The Tyreek Hill 40-yard bombs, they're going to click. Or we just have to keep doing it. The reality is people are playing them differently now. And so, yeah, I think it's time to panic.
I think they're playing them differently. There's enough film. And the creativity that we all marveled at that we were seeing from Patrick Mahomes is now getting him in trouble. And this is a team that is pressing. Their defense is Dallas Cowboys bad from a year ago. So I think Mahomes feels like he needs to score a touchdown on every play, and that is leading to mistakes. But I don't know that they are a playoff team. When I look at what the Raiders are doing and how they're playing, the Chargers, and what they're doing, they're right now third best, obviously, in their division. But Cincinnati is playing far better than I thought they would. And, you got to start looking at, are they going to be a playoff team? Baltimore, Buffalo. And I don't know if New England is going to get up there in that mix. But, hell, they hung half 100 on a team yesterday. I don't care who you are. You score 54 points in an NFL game. At some point, you've got to take notice. I just wonder if Kansas City is just going to be on the outside looking in. They've already missed too many shots. They got no more mulligans left in the bag.
Yeah, I think that they're victims of their own success in a lot of ways. They kind of feel to me like, like when you would visit your grandparents or something and your grandparent would be like, well, back in my day, we had to churn the butter. You know what I mean? Like you kids, you have it now in this tub. You know what I mean? We had to go milk the cows and do everything. Or, we had to dry our clothes on strings outside, and nowadays these, your grandkids are going to be telling you, Grandpa, you didn't have touch screens in your shower? Are you serious? Like, you were living in the dark ages. And like, that's who the Chiefs are now. Like, all these little tricks and things that they've had so much success with have just kind of, they've become reliant upon them because they've always worked. And to their credit, they work a lot longer than most little tricks work for certain teams, but they just haven't had an ability to adapt. And yeah, the defense is bad, but I think the defense is still kind of shielding Mahomes. And I don't want to just come here and disparage Mahomes, but they put up 3 points yesterday. Like, you're supposed to be the greatest quarterback talent to ever live, and you got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Like, how do you put up 3 points against the team that the Jets beat a couple of weeks ago?
I think therein lies on any given Sunday because Tennessee beat the Bills on a Monday night and then turned around and kept the Chiefs out of the end zone. That's a hell of a week for Vrabel and those Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Vrabel played for the worst, came from the worst team in the NFL in the Houston Texans, but he's now had an opportunity to shine. Ryan Tannehill, obviously thriving. Derrick Henry reminds me so much. Everybody's so quick to compare him to this or that. He's LaDainian Tomlinson. Like he's going to go ballistic and find ways to score, and he's going to be your fantasy superhero no matter what. Like Derrick Henry is awesome, but that's a team that if you meet them behind the alley, they're going to rough you up. And that's not the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the corporate CEO in the flashy, high-priced suit. And once they get in that environment, they don't know what to do. And we're starting to see that. To be fair, their 4 losses have come to the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bills, and the Titans. 4 very good football teams. But right now, would you be stunned? Like jaw on the floor stunned if the Giants beat them a week from today?
Yes.
I would be too, but still less stunned than I would have been, if you told me that would have happened 2 months ago. It's become a little bit more normal for them.
If Patrick Mahomes is playing, I think I would be stunned. I mean, Jason Garrett and that offense. I mean, yeah, and when I watch the Giants, and I know Jason Garrett isn't the head coach of the Giants, but yesterday, or no, that was the Washington game when he slid too soon with Heineke, which is like, dude. But even then, the Giants' offense is so predictable. They run a trick play and they can't execute it properly. I mean, if Jones catches that in stride, who knows what that looks like? It was still a great athletic catch, but he made it more difficult than what it needed to be. And doesn't that just feel like all the years with the Dallas Cowboys that things were just more difficult than they needed to be? So, yeah, I think I would be stunned would be the right word if the Giants somehow got it together and beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
I would feel bad for the Giants if they weren't terrible. I would also feel bad for the Giants if they weren't terrible. It should be said twice. The Giants, the Daniel Jones play was fun and made a lot of memes, but it was 3 weeks ago that he was stumbling after a hit and in concussion protocol. What are you doing? Sending your quarterback out like that? I mean, it's total disregard for any sort of common sense. My only takeaway from that is the Panthers are absolute trash to get blown out by the New York Giants. I mean, I was thinking about this and to kind of make it about the Cowboys. All these coaches that have been hired, all these hot shots, sexy names, have all kind of been disappointing. Even like Kyle Shanahan last night. But there were a lot of people, Jason, that said, I want the Cowboys to hire Matt Rule. That's the guy. I want him instead of Mike McCarthy. Who would you rather have right now, Matt Rule or Mike McCarthy? I cannot believe you're thinking. This better be a bit. You better be thinking about those cigars. I mean, that should be the only reason why you're thinking about this that long.
Honestly, Matt Rule. I think
you are.
I want to give Mike McCarthy a ton of credit. In fact, I did this morning. I was on Great Day SA on Channel 5 this morning and said, Mike McCarthy deserves a ton of credit. Dan Quinn's getting a lot of news. Kellen Moore is getting a lot of accolades in the news. But Mike McCarthy, after last year, you kind of get a mulligan, a full offseason, full training camp. Even though I'm still mad at him for a lot of his time management decisions, he does get a lot. He should get a lot of credit. But if I had an option still to this day, I mean, you're talking about Matt Rule with Dak Prescott versus Matt Rule with Sam Darnold. I mean, let's be honest.
That's the Matt Rule that traded for Sam Darnold and then picked up Sam Darnold's fifth-year option. So he not only courted Sam Darnold, then after one date married him. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want that dude.
Well, again, though, and now he's ready to get divorced and make a trade for Deshaun Watson. I mean, look, there are a lot of things in the hopper there. He was speed dating to try to save his job as quickly as he can, and Sam Darnold was the best option for him at the time in Carolina. Got that extension before he really knew what he had.
I cannot, in any universe, imagine having Matt Rule over Mike McCarthy. I think McCarthy deserves an enormous amount of credit. I think people have, not you, but a lot of people have preconceived priors about him that they're trying to justify and validate. He has kind of lived up to who he said he was going to be. He's aggressive on fourth downs. He has incorporated, people hear the term analytics, they don't know where to assign that definition. He has incorporated the usage of analytics in modern day thinking.
Yeah, he has. And I think, to be honest, I was excited about Mike McCarthy. I like a coach with the skins on the wall that he offers up and his history, all of it. But when you're Dan Quinn is taking care of the defense, Kellen Moore is taking care of the offense. And you're going to tell me after a game that you lost the clock. Come on, dude. We know that you walk in the field and the first thing you do is figure out where the clocks are. And there's just been some of those time management issues that he is in charge of that we shouldn't see over and over. Even the game against Tampa Bay, you left too much time. Now, I don't know if Dak checked out of a run play, but that is your one job, is game management. Game management. The other part is with the analytics. You know, every week, Eric Morris, the head coach of UIW, is on with us. And if you want a class in analytics and how to use them, listen to Eric Morris. It's phenomenal, the conversations that we have. And I asked him last Thursday, when you're going analytics, can you do it half of the time? And the answer is no. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Mike McCarthy is only following the analytics about half the time. You either have to be all in or not in. And I think in the last game, he went for it on fourth down on his territory early in the game because analytics probably told him to do it. And then he got gun shy. Either be all in with it or not.
So I agree with you, particularly that's, to go back to the dating thing, you can't date analytics. You have to be married, right? You have to have a house and a mortgage and 2 car payments and a kid. I'm putting together all sorts of, stuff for our kid now. Like, everything has a million pieces. Why? Like, just send it to Amazon. Just send it built. Anyway, but upon
welcome to the rest of your life for the next 18 years. Wait till that third Christmas when you're up for 3 days putting toys together in the middle of the night. And the hardest part is getting them out of the package because of all the little wiry things that you're going to have to deal with. You have no idea yet, man, but it's starting.
Upon further reflection, because I'm with you, I thought the 4th and 2 late in the game when they kicked the field goal that they missed, obviously, I thought that was getting gun shy. But ESPN's analytics model suggested to punt there, or to kick the field goal. Like, he is actually he's living and dying by it, and that almost killed the Cowboys, that particular decision. But that was following the analytic-based model, and I disagree with it. And so I think at a certain point you have to say, you know what, like, if this is who we are, let's be this team all the time. But that would be deviating from who you're saying that you are. And so in that, like, I'm a big fan of, in all aspects of life, making decisions before you are emotionally compromised. I'm a big fan of that, like how in terms of living your life. And I think that Mike McCarthy has done that. He has committed himself to whatever the model says, I'm going to follow it. Whether it makes sense to me in the moment or not, I'm not going to allow my emotions to sway my thinking. He did that in New England. It ended up working out for them because Trayvon Diggs went Super Saiyan mode. But, sometimes it is a bit of a puzzling decision.
It is very interesting. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joining us here on the Blitz with no Cowboys game yesterday. We're just kind of spitballing all over the NFL. We'll do more of this in about 15 minutes with the Moose, Daryl Johnston. A question I probably won't ask Daryl because I don't know how big he is in the sports memorabilia game. But as I look around your office and I know kind of the stuff that you have, I know kind of some of the stuff I have. I think the guy in Tampa Bay, that doctor, did the right thing by giving the ball back, but it does feel like Bill O'Brien brokered the trade. You gave Ape a ball that memorabilia experts say is worth about $500,000. You gave it back, and you get a $1,000 gift card to the team store. I mean, that really is like trading DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals for 2 bags of Doritos.
So I know that there are a lot of people playing Monday morning quarterback on this particular gentleman and his decision. I think you have, like, that's something you have to factor the emotion into. Like, they come up to you, they're like, dude, Tom Brady wants this football. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you're supposed to be like, nope, that's not enough. Like,
No. I totally think the guy needed to give the ball back, and he should have given the ball back. And what Tom Brady wants, Tom Brady gets. I think the team should be offering more than just a $1,000 gift card to the team store. Hey, let me give you tickets for the next 10 years. This thing's worth $500,000. You want dinner with Giselle? We're going to set that up. Tom is going to make you a hot pocket. And I mean, something more than here's a $1,000 gift card to the team store.
So the reports I've read are that he was also given another game-used ball, which is cool, and that Tom's going to hook him up with some signed jerseys. And here's the thing: like, you can go buy a Tom Brady signed jersey, That dude, this is something you and I have in common when it comes to memorabilia. The best thing about it, when people look through your house, Jason, or my office, is when people ask it, Jason, how'd you get that? RJ, how'd you get that? And Jason, what happened with those Ray Lewis cigars? That is an incredible story that you get to tell for the rest of your life. That dude gets to tell that story forever. That Brady jersey or jerseys, because I was we recorded a show today on the SB Nation NFL show. Tom Brady has taken a face turn, not a heel turn. Tom Brady has become beloved by the American, the worldwide sports public. And now he's this like incredible human being, this nice guy. If I was like, we say this all the time, like, oh, he should do that. He should get, I would imagine Tom Brady is going to hook him up with like 3 signed jerseys, personalized. Thank you for my, like, that's such an incredibly unique thing. So I don't fault the guy at all. I think he wins. The guy has an amazing memory that he can tell his grandchildren about.
I don't fault the guy one bit, but he handed $500,000 over, at least. Did you see Rob Thompson broke out the bank today and paid like $1 million for a pair of Air Jordans? I'm guessing that was Rob that did that. You know, there are people that are willing to spend that kind of money when it comes to certain pieces of memorabilia. I think the Bucs should have offered him more. I mean, the Bucs as an organization seem cheap by saying, here's $1,000 to the team store. And if you've ever been to any team store, now I can say I've been to the one in Houston for the Texans and I've been to Jerry World. That gets you like 3 T-shirts and a cap. That's not much when you put it in big picture perspective.
I agree with that 100%. I think the Bucs look a little bit cheap here. Let's go Bucs. You know, you've got a lot of cash flowing in. You know what I mean? Like, let's up this ante a little bit. I also think the person who's kind of skating by here is Mike Evans. Mike, you're the one who handed this ball off. You know what I mean? Like, you need to give this dude some signed stuff. You need to chip in because that dude saved Mike Evans $500,000. If we're being, real about it, he's the one who handed that check away that the Bucs were able to get back.
Well, and that is very true. At what point though? Is it incumbent upon either the coaching staff or the PR staff, somebody to let everybody know that there is a milestone at stake? You know, how often do we see and know, and everybody in the building knows this is going to happen and either stop the game or they collect the ball? I think somebody dropped the ball within the Bucs organization because Mike Evans didn't know. The video is hilarious when they walk him and say, dude, you gave away the ball. I did? Oh, I gave it away. Where's the ball? I gave it away.
So I agree with this in 2 respects. Number one, the Bucs should have had some equipment staff in the end zone, right? Like behind, like where the net is and stuff, like just to kind of play some defense there. But beyond that, I would disagree with the idea if it was a closer game, it's the game-winning touchdown, because that's not on anybody's mind. But they're kicking the Bears' faces in. You know what I'm saying? They had to have known, dude.
That's right. They were playing the Bears, right? There was a game to talk about.
Yeah, like in that game, there was the opportunity to be like, guys, we're gonna score here. Let's just hold this ball. Everybody be cool. Everybody be chill. But hey, it is what it is. The emotions got away from them. Brady got his ball. I mean, everybody wins here. Everybody won. Even Jim Nantz got a moment. Was able to talk about how many touchdowns from Brady he's called throughout his career.
That is pretty incredible. And I think about, what you won when you won Rock the Mic, what others have not won when they've won Rock the Mic compared to you, and every year it's something different. But Rock the Mic is back. RJ Ochoa is the original Rock the Mic champion. He was the first one. Can't believe it was that many years ago, RJ.
It was a long time ago. That was before you could have been indicted for the Ray Lewis cigar incident. That was several Air Jordans ago.
And because you won Rock the Mic, you would have been an accessory. Because you won Rock the Mic, that allowed you to be in position to become an accessory to the fun that we were having at the cigar party at the Super Bowl down in Houston.
That's well said. If anybody's on the fence, go for Rock the Mic. Do it. These guys are great. They'll help you out. If you have any questions, my DMs are open on Twitter and Instagram. Best of luck. It can change your life.
It certainly can. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week after the Cowboys beat the Vikings.
Sounds good. Remember, last year, Cowboys went to Minnesota coming off their bye, and Mike McCarthy smashed some watermelon, so he better be doing it again this week to keep the tradition alive.
Going all Carrot Top for sure. We'll find out. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com, our original Rock the Mic champ. And you know, every year we have Rock the Mic, an open audition to find our next broadcaster. This year, Rock the Mic will have online submissions and in-person live auditions. Contestants, you can go to sasportstar.com, upload a video of a minute or less with your take. From there, we're going to narrow it down, come up with the top 12. We're also going to have 3 rounds of live in-person auditions over at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar starting at next week, and then fans will get to vote. Rock the Mic brought to you by Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar and Jim Beam. You always want to do this. You think you could do this. You want to be like RJ or Carolina Teague or Michael Jimenez or Quinn Hudson or Thomas Mott. Be a part of Rock the Mic 2021. The Moose, Daryl Johnston, will join us next here on the Blitz. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club on San Pedro. And Sam has plenty of inventory in stock. He has the polos, the T-shirts, the half zips, the jackets, and the caps, including the popular Richardson style cap in stock. Over 10,000 hats on display in his showroom. So if you need your logo on anything, get into Sam. And not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with 1-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit that massive showroom down on San Pedro. It's 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with a warranty, and you'll work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club. Mondays with the Moose. Daryl Johnston joins us after James Pledger and the Sports Center update.
Thanks, Jason. Well, the Dallas Cowboys have designated wide receiver Michael Gallup to return from the injured reserve, as Gallup is now able to return to practice, and Dallas has 21 days to activate him from the injured reserve. The Houston Texans lost their 6th straight over the weekend, falling 31-5 to the Arizona Cardinals, dropping to 1-6 on the season. And in other Texans news, more Deshaun Watson rumors have arisen now that Sam Darnold was benched in the Panthers' 25-3 loss to the New York Giants over the weekend. Their 4th straight loss, as reports are the Carolina Panthers from ESPN say that Watson, who has a no-trade clause, is willing to consider multiple teams now, as Carolina has jumped in along with Miami. The NFL trade deadline is on November the 2nd. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs are 1-2 on the season, dropping their 2nd straight game over the weekend, falling to the Milwaukee Bucks 121-111. Doug McDermott led the way with 25 points as he went 7 of 11 from 3, while Keldon Johnson added 20 points in the loss. They'll return to action tomorrow night against the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Score points with some of the boldest, keto-friendly, protein-packed, and low-carb snacks out there. And with their new Southern Recipe Small Batch 6-bag variety pack, you'll get to choose a different flavored pork rind every time. Find Southern Recipe Small Batch at your local H-E-B, and you'll always have pork rinds ready to go. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Central Builders Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance blokes fetching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 at 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart, Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
The Halloween parties at the Rue Pub have become legendary. Plan now. The biggest Halloween party in San Antonio will be Saturday, October 30th. Get your costume ready. The Rue Pub closes off part of the parking lot and will have DJs outside and inside the Rue and Angry Elephant and a $1,000 costume contest. The Rue Pub at 281 in Redland Road. Plan now for the 8th annual Rue Pub Halloween block party on Saturday, October 30th. We'll see you at the Rue and wear a costume.
The cheering squads, the marching bands. College football happens here every Saturday from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at 1911 Cigars. Great spot out in Cibolo, right here on Main Street. We're out here till 7. Then they're going to have the Monday night game on tonight, which should be interesting with the Saints and the Seahawks. It is a Monday. That means it's time for Mondays with the Moose. 3-time Super Bowl champion Daryl Johnston joins us now. Of course, you're now with Fox Sports. And, man, you had an interesting game yesterday, Daryl.
Yeah, we did. We did. I think much more competitive than we anticipated. Just kind of watching Miami on film and just reading some of the quotes from some of the players and coaches, it seemed like some of the frustration had gotten to them. And Atlanta was the complete opposite, very positive, very upbeat in the progression they were making from week to week. So, I was a little bit surprised that Miami had a chance to win that one.
Yeah, I was too, especially in a week where there were so many Deshaun Watson trade rumors that Tua actually seemed to be dialed in and focused to go out there and do his job for maybe his next head coach.
Yeah, he did a really nice job. We talked to him about it a little bit. The rumors were out early enough in the week that when we visited with him on Friday, and he was very honest. He was very open about it. Sometimes you get a little bit of that player speak where, we don't let the outside voices into the locker room. But he said, listen, they get in there and a lot of that conversation comes with me directly with my agent. He's got to talk to me about, what's going on right now. And he was very complimentary of Brian Flores. head coach of the Dolphins being very transparent, very open with him about everything that was going on from the standpoint of the organization and the personnel.
Daryl Johnston joining us here on the Blitz Mondays with the Moose. Daryl, with the Cowboys having the bye week yesterday or this past week, Dak was at the facility today. He was shown no boot on. He was wearing slides. There was pictures of him from the weekend at a country concert wearing only cowboy boots. When you see photos like that, knowing the calf injury that he suffered against New England, the fact that he was wearing slides and cowboy boots over the weekend, how concerned should we be about his calf as they get ready for Minnesota this week?
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's back to 100%. That's for sure. It's good that he's out of the boot, but it doesn't mean the injury is completely healed. And hopefully it's not something that he has to carry with him, off and on through the course of the season. But if you get put in the boot, they're taking some stress off that movement that's going to impact as you walk. So when he gets out in the practice field and he starts to stress, I think that's the bigger indicator. Is he showing any signs of that injury being an impact at that point? But yeah, the slides and the cowboy boots, I'm not ready to commit that he's going to be good to go near 100% this weekend.
Troy was on the radio up in Dallas and said essentially that he dealt with a calf at one point, and you could still, at the quarterback position, you could still play through it, but obviously you're going to be limited. And I think about Troy's style of game versus Dak's and the rollouts and the scrambling ability. If he is limited, how much of a challenge is that for Kellen Moore to design plays that are going to make sure he stays in the pocket and doesn't take off and run?
Well, I think the big thing is the progression that he's made this year, where his movement in the pocket is more subtle. It's the slides and the climbs, but he wants to stay within the confines of the pocket. He's not breaking out and running. They're not using him in that fashion as much, and maybe the way that some of the offense was designed after that injury that he had last year, and you're trying to keep him out of harm's way a little bit. That plays in as a positive with the calf injury that he suffered that last game. So I think Kellen Moore has lots of options, to keep him in a comfortable area where he's not out on the move. And I think it's something that not only is Dak very comfortable with, but I think he's taken his biggest strides in that arena so far this season.
Daryl Johnston joining us here on the Blitz. Daryl, you look at the Cowboys and the season they've had. People are talking about this team making a legitimate Super Bowl run, and I look around the NFC, and I think they're right up there with what we all consider the best teams in the NFC. And I try to say that, not sound like a homer, right? But the one area that concerns me is on the defensive side. While it has played better, especially with all the takeaways and what Diggs has been able to do, the amount of yards that they continue to give up, the turnovers are bailing them out. I don't know if they can maintain that over a 17-game season. How concerned are you about the Cowboys defense post-bye week play?
I think you're exactly right. It's actually one of the things that we looked into our game this past weekend about the Miami Dolphins going from 10-6 to now being at 1-6. And the biggest thing was they were on pace this year, the first half of the season, similar to what they did last year. But the second half of the season, they were off the charts taking the ball away. They were off the charts on third down defense. And that's the area that they haven't been very good at this year. And just like takeaways popped up this year, and they've been working on this for a number of years, in the organization. Every team is trying to find a way to take away the football, and it doesn't materialize from season to season. But it has worked for the Cowboys this year. But as you pointed out, it's not sustainable. It's not something you can hang your hat on and expect those to happen week in and week out. And I think that's one of the big things that happened to Miami this year is I think they come out and, hey, we practiced this last year. We taught the punch. We were very good in our coverage, getting our head around, locating the football. Didn't play a lot of back to the quarterback style coverages, gave ourselves opportunities for takeaways. We should be able to replicate what we did in 2020 again here in 2021. And that just doesn't always happen. The good news for me is, you're going to get some players back as we get into the second half of the season on the defensive side of the ball. So it's been very impressive with some key contributors out of the lineup that this defense has been able to play the way they have. But I agree with you. I think it's a concern, the amount of yardage. There's some areas there that they've got to get cleaned up and fixed up. But as you said, it's the takeaways right now that are allowing them to be able to play at the level they're playing at.
And again, I look at my two concerns: the yardage they give up, and then the issues they continue to have in the red zone. I watch so many games, so especially this weekend, it was on red zone most of the day. And there are some teams that just get close to the red zone and they just make it look easy. And it seems like every time the Cowboys are in the red zone, even when they score, nothing seems to come easy for them in the red zone. How does Kellen Moore in this offense get that fixed?
Yeah, right. That to me is the one, and not just settling for field goals, but actually having turnovers, critical mistakes in the red zone. So yeah, that's definitely something that's got to fix. To me, I'm a big, run game guy when we get down into the red zone area because the field condenses. The advantage definitely tips to the defensive side of the ball. One of the things you can do to try and balance that out a little bit is be able to run the ball effectively. And I've always felt, going all the way back to Scott Linehan, who was there, with Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore coached underneath him. There was kind of a series of play calls that brought them all the way down the field, and then would get into the red zone, and a lot of times into the tight red zone, they would get away from that, and all of a sudden there'd be 3 incompletions and then a field goal attempt. And so I'd like to see him just kind of maintain that consistency. Whatever you were doing from 20 to 20, let's not deviate too far from that. And I know you have your specialty plays when you get inside the red zone, and depending if you're from the 25 to the 10, and then from the 10 to the goal line, you've got your plays that you like. But let's make sure that there's some consistency there that's similar to what you used to get all the way down the field. Because it always seemed to me that there was a way they marched down the field and then they got into that red zone area, and it was all of a sudden a completely different style of play.
It sounds to me like you're saying they need to make sure there's a fullback in there with that run game down by the goal line.
Absolutely. They've brought the F back. They're using a couple of guys in a different way, but I've enjoyed it. If you get a little big in there and try to pound the football a little bit, and actually, I think that Connor McGovern's doing a nice job with that. It's not easy for linemen to adjust to that. When they block in the offensive line position, the guy across them is about 12 to 18 inches away. Now all of a sudden you get into the fullback position, and your assignment's about 8 yards away, and it's a pretty violent collision. So it's a completely different style. There's not a whole lot of technique. It's mainly mentality. And he's done a nice job. He's one of the few that I've seen make that transition and be able to maintain good pad level and not, kind of rely on his size and think that he's going to dominate somebody just because he's bigger. Because these linebackers, they understand the leverage component of the game, and pad level wins in that situation. And Connor's shown the ability to match pad level with some of these guys from the fullback position.
Daryl, I'm curious, as fullbacks by nature are starting to become extinct, and they're using more linemen in that kind of a situation. Do you work with any of these offensive linemen that got pressed into fullback duty to kind of work on what you just described?
I have not been asked to. I've not had the opportunity to. But I was recently when we were at the Hall of Fame inductions. I sat right next to Mike Allstott when we were there for John Lynch, and one of the things that Mike and I talked about was maybe getting together with Lorenzo Neal and Sam Gash and some of the guys from the '90s, and doing something similar to what the tight ends are doing with that tight end U.
Yeah,
bringing some of the younger guys in from around the league and kind of giving them the tricks of the trade and teaching them how to watch film, teaching them, just some of the subtle tricks that we used on the field as players. And whether that was open to, true fullbacks or, tight ends that were getting put into that F position, linemen that were getting put into that F position, even guys from the defensive side, have been put in that spot. So it definitely something we talked about and just as a way to try to keep that position relevant. And keep it a spot on the roster that's continuing to get snaps.
I think fullbacks should have their own day. If tight ends get a day, don't fullbacks need a day too?
Yeah, they wore that out yesterday, boy. Even in our game. Now we had Kyle Pitts in our game yesterday, so we were probably one of the biggest offenders on the course of the afternoon. But yeah, when I sat back and watched the highlight shows, I was like, boy. We definitely need a fullback day, and maybe we can swing the tide. It was kind of cool though how all the tight ends had big days yesterday, and that'd be awesome. The only fear you would have is if you do a fullback day and there's it's not a statistical position. So you're going to have to look long and hard to be able to sell the contributions of those fullbacks in the blocking component.
I think if there's a way, Hallmark will come up with a card and we'll get it on the calendar and we will be able to celebrate it. The Moose, Daryl Johnston, joining us here on the Blitz. Before I let you go, Daryl, I out of curiosity, you guys are winning Super Bowls. Was there somebody in the locker room, whether it was, Rich Dalrymple or somebody from the PR staff or one of the coaches, that would let you guys know as players when a milestone was going to happen? For example, Mike Evans gave away a ball that was probably worth $500,000 on the memorabilia market and had no idea that was a milestone kind of touchdown. Is that who's responsible to let you know as a player that, hey, one more and Tom gets 600? It's never been done before.
Yeah, that's a good question. It would definitely probably have been Rich during our time if there was a monumental play coming up. We always have those when we're doing the broadcasting. We'll have a milestone like that, especially if it's never been done before, and we're aware of that. So I'm sure in that situation, and I know the head of PR for Arizona, and he's one of the better ones in the NFL, and he's on top of his job. And I'm sure that Mark had that information and was able to share it with everybody. But, in the heat of the moment, you kind of forget. There was a game when we played in Arizona late in the season, and Emmett was going to break the single-season touchdown record. He needed one more to go. And, I caught a pass, and I got knocked out of bounds on, the 2-yard line. And people said, that was awesome that you that you were that aware and you didn't try to score on that play. And I'm like, listen, I had no idea. I knew going into it, but I was trying to score. I got knocked out of bounds. I got to be honest with you. So, don't give me too much credit for being smart in that situation. So it ended up working out great, and Emmett scored a play later and set the mark. But when you're competing and you're on that field, anybody that can manage their emotions and be that smart, I have a tremendous amount of respect for.
And I do think the guy did the right thing by giving the ball back to Tom, although I thought the Bucs should have offered him a lot more than just $1,000 gift card to the team store.
Absolutely. That's it's interesting because, as you pointed out, that market has gotten so big right now, and what would the value of that football been? I mean, the NFTs and things like that, some of the prices that we're seeing for sports memorabilia in this day and age, is unbelievable. So that was going to be a very, very highly sought after item of memorabilia. I mean, I think an early pair of Michael Jordan game worn shoes just went for $1.47 million, in an auction setting. So, the first NFL player to throw for 600 passes, 600 touchdown passes, and that's the 601. And you've got that football. I can't even imagine what the market would be. So,
according to the reports I'm reading, many experts are saying at least $500,000. At least.
I would say more. If we're talking, a pair of game-worn shoes by Michael Jordan back in the day, and some of these trading cards. I mean, what was Tom Brady's trading card? There was a one of 4 or something like that, or a 1 of 1. I mean, these are millions of dollars. So, yeah. He may wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm going to give the organization a call and see if I can get that gift card raised up a little bit from $1,000.
That or season tickets for a decade or something. I mean,
lifetime season tickets. Just give them lifetime season tickets.
I mean, when was the last time you were in a team store? $1,000 gets you a jersey, 2 T-shirts, and a hat.
Exactly.
He's got to get more than that. Daryl Johnston, the Moose, joining us here on the Blitz as we do Mondays with the Blitz. Always fun, Daryl. Next week, we'll talk about that Cowboys and Vikings game. What game do you have this week? Do you know yet?
Yeah, we have the Rams at the Texans.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, we get to see LA, and I think it'll be interesting. I mean, they played Detroit, and Detroit, they know they have to steal some possessions, and Dan Campbell did a great job, but the talent level just doesn't match right now. There's talk that Tyrod Taylor could be back in the lineup. I'm interested to see the frame of mind that LA is in, coming up against, this will be their third consecutive opponent that is below 500, but when you talk about 0-7 and this is going to be 1-6 here for Houston, I mean, you're going against two teams that you should handle very well. They struggled a little bit with Detroit, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how they respond and what this game is like. You know, did they take care of business right away and jump out on them quickly and put the game away, or did they let Houston hang around on them?
It's going to be interesting for sure, especially if Tyrod is able to come back and play. Daryl, always appreciate the time, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, look forward to it. Take care, Jason.
Appreciate it. Daryl Johnston, the Moose. Mondays with the Moose. Every Monday here on the Blitz. We're live out at 1911 Cigars. Rudy J has showed up. He's cutting a cigar now. Going to fire it up. We'll talk with Rudy J as we continue here on the Blitz. And Jeff Traylor will join us coming up at 6 o'clock. You know, this weekend I did a lot of barbecuing, including a whole bunch of Kielbasa sausage. You want to get the best sausage out there, you know it's got to be Kielbasa. And it's football season. No game days complete without some Kielbasa sausage. And Kielbasa is such a great San Antonio company. Started here in 1949. They made the length of their sausage to fit perfectly in a tortilla. It doesn't get more San Antonio than that. You're getting ready for a football game. You're just firing up the grill. You know you need to get in the store and get some Kielbasa today.
For $1,000 now, enter the winning keyword, SCARE. SCARE. SCARE at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I am that typical girl. If everyone else has it, I don't want it. I want that unique, something special that no one else has.
Deborah Looper dreamed of getting a truly one-of-a-kind engagement ring. And when she found Diamonds Direct, that dream became reality.
It truly is the fairy tale I pinch myself daily.
Deborah was amazed to learn that Diamonds Direct works directly with the world's top bridal designers who can take an already beautiful ring and customize it just for her.
They took the ring design and said, let's personalize it. I walk out thinking they are making a ring for me. I am beyond words about that.
And the end result? A spectacular handcrafted Christopher Designs ring, just the way she dreamed it.
No one else has what I have on my hand.
Diamonds Direct, where the possibilities are truly endless.
It was nothing short of an awesome experience.
Get the ring of your dreams without a compromise at Diamonds Direct.
If you can dream it, Diamonds Direct can design it.
Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect fever is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Joel, don't you just love Halloween?
It's okay, but I do like your troll costume.
I'm not wearing a costume.
I know, frightening.
Where's your sense of fun? Halloween is about candy, trick-or-treating, and the evil laughs that go, whoa.
Boo, here's your paycheck.
Now that's scary.
Folks, if your home's AC starts making those witching sounds or the pipes in your wall start moaning and clanging like ghosts having a party, call Quarter Moon at 651-5899, and we'll send our team of highly trained
Ghostbusters!
I was gonna say technicians.
I ain't afraid of no clogs.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899.
Nigel, just like I tell my kids, always check the candy before you eat it.
Joel, look, I've got a costume for you too.
That's a giant bolt.
Exactly. Joel Frederickstein. Get it? Frederickstein. Whoa, your face looks creepy mad. That's the spirit.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. License number M13229 TACLA 000743458.
If you and your spouse went from I do to I don't, it may be time to walk down a new aisle. Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
Get your share of $20K 12 times a day. It's the Big Score. Listen each hour weekdays between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. for the winning word. When you hear it, enter it at sasportstar.com. You could win $1,000. Complete rules at sasportstar.com. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Rudy J on your home for Texas Rangers baseball. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Live out here at 1911 Cigars in Cibolo with Rudy J.
Yes, sir. What's up, baby?
So I'm good, man. So you heard there's going to be free beer here at 1911, and you showed up, huh?
Free beer, and then I also heard that Placencia is doing buy four, get one, and you cannot beat that with Placencias. That's top-notch smoke.
No.
So whenever they're doing a buy four, get one, you show up.
And now these are what you told me to grab.
Yes.
All right. Because
Great smokes.
I like the Patels, and you're like, dude, you need to try these. This is what you were telling me, right?
That's the guy.
All right.
Those are the guys. So if you come out here, you buy four of them, you get one free. They're doing a cut and light. Got free Yingling. Chicken wings delivered to the table. What else?
Life is good. You ordered food already, man. You've been here 3 minutes. You call ahead?
You got to, man. Let me check the. Oh my gosh!
Let me see that.
Hold on. You want to see this?
Let me see that.
Look at that. That is sexy.
If you're watching on
so sexy.
Facebook Live or on YouTube, look at that pledge. Look at that. I'm trying not to spill it everywhere, but this little container is overflowing.
I'm mad at Pledge.
Well, of course, but why?
Because he didn't show up Saturday.
Yeah, he didn't show up Saturday to the party I had at the house.
And he messed with me about not going, but I'll see him at the Rue this Saturday.
But typically, I mean, you showed up late to the house, so I mean, it's normal.
Why you got to call me out, dog?
I just tell the truth, bro.
No, you do.
I mean, I look at one point because you hadn't showed up yet. I did a 16-pound brisket. I did 2 racks of baby backs. I did the pig shots, and
I got a little bit of everything.
Well, because you were like, dude, I'm running late. I'm like, all right. And then I look around, and the food was disappearing. I had to make a plate for you to put it off.
And props to you for that. Like, I walk in, Jason's like, you see that foil over there? Everything was running low. I got you. I was like, hey, that's a true friend when they think about you while they're drinking, while they're hosting, while they're cooking.
Well,
say, hey, let me put a plate aside.
That said, I'm on the way. Is there food left? Because if I'd have said no, you would have showed up.
No, I would have came anyway. Great time.
It was
beautiful home.
That was fun.
Beautiful family and friends. And congratulations to Breezy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now she hits the road early. Like we got to go home and finish.
What are you gonna do tomorrow when you wake up and it's just you and Joanna again? Empty
nesting again. I don't know.
You gonna be all right?
Yeah. I'll be fine. I just won't have anybody leftovers. That's why James is like, "What's on the grill tomorrow? I'm coming over."
Oh, I got the gate. I got the gate code now. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'll be there too.
Come on. I mean, what am I gonna do? Feed the neighbors.
Man, you gonna have to ask Jeff some tough questions.
I am gonna ask Jeff Traylor some tough questions. I don't know that he'll answer them, but we will ask him if his phone is rang from the 806 today. We'll see. We'll see what he tells us. We'll talk about that big win over La Tech. Jeff Traylor, the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, joins us next. You heard Rudy mention he's going to be with Pledge on Saturday night. That's going to be out at the Rue Pub for their big old Halloween party that they have every year. It has become legendary. Saturday night, October 30th, it is the Rue Pub Halloween contest and party. They're going to block off part of the parking lot. There'll be DJs inside the Rue, next door at the Angry Elephant, outside. That costume contest is going to be rocking. It always is. Pledge is going to try to win, but he won't because I've seen what generally wins at the Rue Pub.
He's not holding what he needs to be holding.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. And I'll tell you what, the prizes include Spurs tickets in a box, Wade Bowen concert tickets, gift cards, and they'll have all the games. Make plans now. Saturday night at the Rue for their Halloween party. Jeff Traylor next here on the Blitz.
Every football season history is made.
Prescott walks the dog. Touchdown.
Every football season history is written.
Perfect strike to Amari Cooper.
San Antonio Sports Star has been alongside history as the exclusive voice of the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody knows the Cowboys as we do. Not even close. Catch every touchdown and every play here. Exclusively on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Been thinking about natural biologic therapies to treat your chronic joint pain? Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics.
To me, it is such an easy decision. If you are truly looking to avoid surgery and not treat yourself with Band-Aids like steroids and pain meds, then really there is no other option. And that's what I love so much about what I get to do.
QC Kinetics offers a variety of restorative natural options to rejuvenate the tissue in your joints and give you your life back.
When they come back a few months later, and it's so affirming to see their quality of life change in such a positive way.
Are you tired Tired of the joint pain that keeps you from living your best life? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about these exciting restorative and regenerative options.
And you've been looking for an answer, something to avoid surgery. I'm just giving you the answer you've been looking for. QC Kinetics. Kinetics is energy in motion. We want to keep you in motion.
Get your free consultation today with QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318 in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Call 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318.
Rock the Mic is back at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. If you have what it takes to jump on the air with us at San Antonio Sports Star, well, go to sasportstar.com now and upload your best take. Then join us next week at a Slackers near you. Wednesday, November 3rd, we'll be live at Slackers Medical Center. Thursday, November 4th at Slackers on Nacogdoches. You can even enter to win a pair of Dallas Cowboys tickets just for stopping through. Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you by Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar and in part by Jim Beam.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom, a single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
From the Mother's Window Tint Studio, one team, one mission, KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at 1911 Cigars in Cibolo, right here on Main Street. They got the food truck going, wings, free beer tonight, and, of course, all the cigars as you get ready for Monday Night Football. Saints and Seahawks. It's going to be a fun one. And we've been promising him all day, and he is here now. Head coach of the undefeated UTSA Roadrunners, Jeff Traylor, joining us now. Coach, how's your Monday been?
It's been awesome, Jason. Appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you taking the time, Coach. And, I've got to ask the questions because they are out there big time. Any calls coming into your phone today from the 806 area code?
No, sir. There's not been any of those calls coming on my phone.
Not on your phone. When you see a coach in Lubbock get let go and your name is immediately tied to it, how do you address that with your team?
Well, first of all, I feel terrible for Matt Wells. I mean, he's a good friend of mine. He's a high character person. Those are 10 coaches on his staff that have families, and it's just tough. So that's where I start. I just feel bad for him. Second, anytime my name is brought up, and it's been that way for 17 years now, it's because I've got great players, and my players are the reason anybody ever wants to hire me. It's the reason Dr. Campos hired me. It's the reason President Amy hired me, because of my players. And any moment we're not talking about them and the great year they've had so far is a disservice to them. So they're the reason anybody ever wants to talk to me, and that's who I care about most. I want my players to enjoy this open week, get ready for UTEP, and let's go see if we can continue to honor the triangle of toughness.
Do you, and Coach, we'll talk about that great win in Ruston, but everybody listening right now is nervous. Even, our mutual friend April Ann Sierra says it's hashtag panicking for a cause, trying to get donations into that Roadrunner Athletic Fund, which is important, and apparently it's working. But and again, I know you can't answer some of these questions, and I'm trying to be fair, but I know you have, or I would assume you would have to at least address it with your players, even though it's an open week. How do you tell them about the noise and dealing in reality?
Yeah, just like we do everything else, we're honest with each other. We've been in front of this for a while. We expected to have a really good football team. Those kids all understand with my Texas connections, any Texas job that ever comes open, my name's probably going to be involved in it. We're way in front of this deal. My kids know I'm very, very committed to this place. I'm very excited about the future of our place. Dr. Compost and President Amy have been nothing but helpful. They know how committed I am to winning. They're just as committed. We also know we're going to the AAC. It's a huge step up, and we're going to have to make a bigger commitment for us to be successful. And I'm really excited about all that.
And you talk about the move to the AAC, and of course that was announced last week. You know, at Conference USA now, whether it's the Big 12 or the AAC, how nice is it as a coach to jump conferences and not have to pack boxes?
Well, I'm thrilled for our university. What an opportunity that is for us. And once again, our players are the reason why that happened. Obviously, they had a vision many, many years before I ever got here, but players make that happen. From the very beginning with Larry Coker and the original 18, those young men are the reason we're in this position right now. And that's what gets lost sight of in all of this. And it just makes me sick at my stomach because this game is about the players.
And let's talk about those players. Going into Ruston, which has been a tough place for your UTSA Roadrunners, coach. And you think about that game, a little rough start, but man, when you guys got it rolling, you blew them out. How satisfied was that locker room at the end of that game?
It was huge. I felt like we were tired. I didn't think they got our very best performance. They gave me great effort now. It was not lack of effort. We just looked tired to me. And I just promised them they just gut it out for me. I'd take care of them this week, and I'm going to take care of them. We're going to be up there 10 periods tomorrow. We're going to work on our fundamentals. We're going to work on playing fast, but we're going to get fresh this week. We got 3 Fs this week. We hope we don't get an F for our grade for the week, but we're going to try to work on 3 Fs during this bye week.
That is awesome. Coach, I was worried about this game, to be honest. The national rankings, the move to the AAC, of all the weeks to fall into the trap game, and the way that game started, I was like, uh-oh. And at what point was there something that happened in that game? Was it the pick six that turned things around for your program? Could you sense were you nervous about this one like I was?
We just don't do it that way. Now, as we were walking into the stadium Friday night, we practiced the night before just to get a little walkthrough. I heard all my players talking about all the negatives that had happened to them. So I knew that was very real on their mind. I heard them talking about how nobody thinks they're going to win. So we had to, kind of rethink that a little bit. And that became more of my topic at the team meeting that night, topic the next day at the team meeting. Is, man, we just don't fear things here. If there's one thing about me, I hope I've got across to my players, I don't want any of those guys to ever fear dying. And I don't ever want them to fear losing. Now, don't get me wrong. I might fear how I'm going to die, but I don't fear dying. I don't fear what's on the other side. And I sure as heck don't fear losing. My mom was at that game, and she going to love me no matter what. And I want those players to know me and my staff, no matter what happens, we're going to love them. And what a great example of when Day-Day fumbled the ball on the kickoff return. I told every one of my coaches, don't say a negative word to that kid. He's the reason we're here right now. And then, boom, pick six, 28-10, 88 out the gate, baby. The Roadrunners showed up.
There you go. Jeff Traylor, head football coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, joining us here on the Blitz as he does every Monday, even in an off week. And, Coach, you look at where this program is at right now, 8-0, moving up in the polls, ranked for the second week in a row, keeping that momentum going to the point that the UTEP game is now going to be on ESPN2. Now, I was grateful, Coach, that the game Saturday was on regular TV, that locally it was able to get picked up. I don't know if you've seen the TV copy of that broadcast, but I mean, it's hard to imagine we saw that in 2021. They didn't even put down and distance up on the screen. But it was great to watch, right? Now you're going to be on ESPN2. I mean, you talk about the exposure that this school is getting, what those players and your staff have done this year. Was there, when you found out that you were going to be on ESPN2, reaction in the building with you or your players and everything that's going to come with that?
Nothing. Honestly, our kids just don't think about that kind of stuff. They're a focused group now. I don't know if you can tell or not. They don't get distracted. They stay head down and they keep working. and I'm proud of them. So there's a lot of distractions. It just so happens this week, our culture pillar of the week, mental toughness. It could not come at a better time. There's a lot of distractions going on right now, and our kids just don't blink. They don't talk about it, man. They just stay focused. They really are committed to being the very best they can be today, and I trust my guys. And that's how they'll be for me tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have a great practice tomorrow morning.
And then the week off, and then the UTEP game. Other than the practices this week, what is this week like for you and your staff?
You know, we just talked about it in a staff meeting. I don't know why anything ever changes. I mean, why would you not be preparing for UTEP? I don't want one rep tomorrow wasted. We better be doing what we're going to do in the game next Saturday night. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Let's get planning. We didn't do anything different. We watched them last night. We prepared for base downs today. We'll do base down install tomorrow. We'll do third down install a little bit Wednesday. Thursday we'll change a little bit. We'll get in the weight room and run them really good. And then I want them to get out of here. Go see their families Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Be back Sunday, ready to practice Sunday evening so we can get ready for UTEP.
And then, of course, this weekend for you, I guess, will you be at the house handing out Halloween candy to the trick-or-treaters in your neighborhood?
No, I will not. I'll be at the Cibolo Converse Justice game Friday night. I want to make sure everybody in the city knows how important it is for our city. So I'm going to be at one of the premier games. We haven't been to those two schools yet, so I'm going to be there. And then Saturday, I'm going to be watching UTEP play FAU, and I'm sure Care Barrett will have me doing house chores because I am not the head coach when I get to the house.
I certainly understand that, but I got to ask you about Halloween, Coach. Mutual friend of ours, maybe you guys need to work on security in that new facility you have over there, but I saw April Ann Sierra's dressing up as you for Halloween and somehow snuck into your office. I mean, she had your whistle, she had the shoes, the pants, the sunglasses, the attention to detail was there. That was an interesting Halloween getup, Coach.
Yeah, they crushed it now. I didn't know about it. I'm sure Brendan Halter had something to do with it. Probably Tyler Stretcher-Nard had something to do with it. You know, as good as her cars are that I drive, I don't care what she does. She hooks me up all the time, and her cars are awesome. So whatever April's doing is fine with me. As long as she say the word vehicle. I'm terrible at that word. Terrible.
Wait, you just got it. You said vehicle. You got it.
I wasn't getting criticized. The whole time her camera people are like criticizing my country accent. I got nervous. I choked, Jason.
Well, trust me, I understand how that goes. Doing commercials, while it might look easy, it ain't. But she was telling me she wanted to stand on your desk, but when she was climbing up there, it started to bow. She was worried she was going to break the desk, so somehow she stood in your chair, which is kind of odd, doing the don't eat the cheese bit for Halloween. But I got an odd question for you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
She had everything down perfect, including your hat. You wear the same thing every game day. I've noticed that, and I've thought about this before, but I haven't asked you yet. How in the hell do you keep your hat so crispy white all the time? I mean, I get a white hat, it's dirty in 10 minutes. Your hat is always perfectly white.
That's Tyler Stretcher-Nard, best equipment guy in the world, man. He knows I'm a big cap guy. When you got a bald, ugly head like I do, man, you're going to wear caps everywhere you go. I challenge if anybody's ever seen me hardly in the city without a cap on.
But it's always, I mean, do you change hats or are you superstitious? Because that can't be the same hat you are wearing, say, at Illinois.
Oh, no. Tyler Renard keeps me in a new class. He's my stylist, right? I'm the worst at that stuff. I'm very boring. I don't know what matches, what doesn't match. Whatever Tyler tells me to wear, I wear it.
Fair enough. I just figured it was the same hat every week. I thought you were superstitious, man. Don't mess with things.
Yeah, no, it's not that. Just whatever Stretch puts in my locker, I put it on, and he takes care of me. He's the best.
Perfect. Well, Coach Jeff Traylor, congrats on the win, the continued success. I know your name is out there involved in all the rumors. I know I'm putting you in a tough spot asking you questions that I know you can't answer, but I appreciate you trying to answer them as best you can at this point, Coach. Appreciate it.
Man, appreciate all you do for us, Jason. Man, God bless. Birds up. Exciting time to be a road runner right now.
It certainly is. Jeff Traylor, head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners. And again, he can't answer those questions. You know he can't answer those questions. I hate asking those questions, but I know you got to. That's part of the job. Until he gets the job. If he gets the job, And when he does, if he does, whether it's the tech job that we're talking about now, or you're talking about whatever the next job is afterwards, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Up until then, and he brought up something that none of us ever really consider. There's a coach that got fired today. Now, granted, he's got $7 million to walk away from. He'll be all right. But all his assistant coaches and their families are now trying to figure out what's next. And they don't get these $7 million to walk away from. So there's 10 assistant coaches, whether they got fired today or not. I mean, when you look at and you think about those assistant coaches, when the new coach gets brought in, most of those guys, most of that staff is going to get let go at some point. So, and that is something that we never really talk about or think about when it comes to coaches and their families. You see it in other businesses that, whether it's radio people or TV people, when they lose their jobs, you don't think about the personal family aspect of it. Is Rudy J piping in here on the Blitz after you ate all those wings?
I only ate 2.
Only 2?
Yeah, portion it out.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You're pacing yourself. I know Jeff Traylor, and you guys talked to him.
That was tough. I mean, it's tough for him. It's a tough spot for him because as a college coach, when you walk in the living room, you're like, trust me, and then a better opportunity comes along. Yeah, just like the kids, they're trying to get to the pros.
Absolutely.
They're trying to get to the money. So is he. And, as much as I love him, if that were to come to it, I totally understand if it comes to that. But it's a tough spot for him to be in because I know that if you just watch that team and watch the locker room, and UTSA does a great job of promoting it and showing what goes on, they really got a genuine love for each other. You don't get to 8-0 if everybody's not on one accord.
And their social media team is fantastic.
Yes, they are. So you can tell that they all really get along. So it's a tough spot for everybody being like he told you, Jason. He said it without saying a lot of distractions. A lot of distractions this week, so tough spot for a great coach to be in, but that's why he's here.
Well, and again, you don't expect him to answer any questions. He did say and pledge, if you can pull the audio, we'll play the clip. He talked about his commitment to the team.
Right.
But what UTSA as a university, the commitment they need to make.
Yes.
And when he said that, I mean, he's talking about facilities and more money for the football program and more money for his assistant coaches and more money for him. Lisa Campos said that, they've
put her on the spot last week.
They're already talking about a new contract. I just look at a new contract for Jeff Traylor. When you look at bottom Big 12 coaches, what they're making, and don't look just at the base salary because those are always kind of low. And then you get in all that other money.
Right.
Look at what a coach in the Big 12 is making. It's more than what the high-end coaches are making in the American. And can UTSA's athletic budget go from, what did Lisa Campos tell us last week, about $30 million?
Did you say 24? I don't know.
But it's got to get close to 40.
Okay.
I mean, it's got to be a big jump. They need a lot of people to make some donations. And even then, it might not be enough to keep Jeff Traylor if the Big 12 offers them that. Now, there's some things you could look at when Texas and OU leave the Big 12. Is the Big 12 going to be any better than the American? I mean, I think that's a legit question to ask.
Is it still a Power 5? I saw Michael Menes ask that question. Is it still a Power 5 when OU and Texas leave?
Yeah, well, it's still going to be a Power 5 conference until it's not.
But
I mean, your paycheck says it is. I mean, isn't that what it boils down to?
Absolutely.
And again, I was talking to a guy that is very well connected to Texas Tech athletics earlier today. We had 3 different conversations, and he told me there are only 3 candidates for this job: Sonny Cumbie, Sonny Dykes, and Jeff Traylor. He said one of the things that has Jeff Traylor at the top of the list is they're paying Matt Wells $7 million to go away. They can get Jeff Traylor cheaper than those other 2 guys, more than likely.
Which one is Sonny
Which
Dykes?
is still the guy at SMU.
Okay.
And of course, you think about Spike Dykes and the family up there and what he's done at SMU, very similar to what Jeff Traylor has done. But the amount of money that Texas Tech can offer Jeff Traylor is going to be more than double what he's making now. But still, a lot less than some of those other guys.
Yeah.
I asked about what about like Graham Harrell and everything that he's done and is doing at USC. Would he be a candidate? Nope. I tweeted earlier today, what about like Kendall Briles or Art Briles? And immediately no. On the Briles name. And you know what? I think a Kendall Briles might not be a bad option for first head coaching person if Jeff Traylor were to leave for UTSA to go after. And I think UTSA needs to embrace itself as a great program that becomes the stepping stone for the up-and-coming coaches. And there's nothing wrong with that where UTSA is today. 15 years from now, that might be completely different. Who knows what conference they'll be in 15 years.
Well, the road they're going, they may be moved up again in 15 years.
I think American is probably for the next decade at least.
Okay.
You know, there's going to be all the shuffling, then all the new TV contracts that are going to get put together. And, you know, the fact that UTSA is in the American still blows me away.
Yeah, it should.
I mean, it blows me away. I go and I look at the top 25 schedule and I see UTSA with the number next to it. That blows me away, seeing them scroll. Hell, because they're in the top 25, they had a full highlight package on the college football show on Saturday night. I mean,
and they're on ESPN too, like we talked about.
In 2 weeks against UTEP. And, you know, whether or not it happens, a pretty damn good social media campain to at least try to get College Game Day to show up for that UTSA game.
That would be cool. Now that would go. That might drive the El Paso for that one.
Well, Southwest can get you there pretty damn quick. But
Jason refused to drive, by the way.
But yeah, I do. But I'll drive to the Broncos.
But you know what, man? I wouldn't have wanted to be in your spot because it's one of them things, Jason, where you know he can't say much, but you have to ask. Well, but you know that's my guy though. So I'm happy. Would you trade 4 and 4? To keep him here?
No.
Would you trade me neither. Me neither. That's what I'm saying. So you got to just be happy for him. Be happy for the program.
The more success Jeff Traylor has is a better look for UTSA.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you've got to strike while the iron is hot. I mean, you look at first year Frank Wilson gets this UTSA program to a bowl game. Lightning was hot. He just didn't follow it up. And now he's at McNeese State. You know, if you're Jeff Traylor and a Power 5 is calling, you've got to take that. Now, he told me he didn't get any calls today from the 806. I wish I knew.
No, he said to his phone.
To his phone. I don't know his agent's phone. I don't know his wife's phone. And I don't know where Kirby Holcutt is from. You know, where's his cell phone, the athletic director at Texas Tech? I don't know if he's got
maybe you don't have 806.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he has a school issued, cell phone. But I know, like when Cliff Kingsbury was the coach at Texas Tech, he had his 806 school phone, and then he still had an 830 phone that you could reach him on. But one was a school phone, and that was open to investigation. And then he had his other phone.
Now. Normally when this stuff goes on, Jason, isn't it normally closer to bowl season? Because then that's when the coach has to decide.
Again, one of the things I was told by my guy today in Lubbock is you lost yesterday to Kansas State. When Cliff Kingsbury got fired, Holcutt said that they were going to return Texas Tech to elite football, and that hasn't happened yet.
No.
By firing Matt Wells today, they get a jump start on all the other people that could be after whatever coach they end up with, and Jeff Traylor's not going to get the LSU job. All right.
No,
some of those crap fan-sided clickbait type things have them listed in there that some people on Twitter freak out about. I mean, it's great. All right. Yeah. Every coach that might be, he's not getting that job. But anything in Texas, as he said, and he knows. I mean,
he said
it. All right. Jeff Traylor just said that.
Because he's so well connected with all these high school coaches, you have to call his phone if it's a Texas job open.
Yeah.
You have to.
And again, I know Jeff Traylor is committed to UTSA. He is committed.
You don't get to 8-0 if you're not committed.
Right. And I know those players love him. I know he loves his players. I don't know outside of that locker room anybody that would be mad if Jeff Traylor was to get a job, but it's going to be weeks away. And for Jeff Traylor, answered as honestly as he could, and I asked as delicately as I could, but it's going to go on for weeks because he won't make a decision or even get offered for a while.
Okay.
But if you're Kirby Holcutt, you take a pretty good temperature because you've just got a head start on all the other openings. If they would have waited till the end of the season, these conversations that get had, you ever wonder, and we've all seen it. I'm not interested in that job. I have no idea what you're talking about. The next morning, let's introduce the new head coach, right? I mean, that's how it happens. It doesn't happen.
Going to Alabama. Nick Saban the next day he goes to Alabama.
Exactly. That's how it happens.
Well, also, Jason, I just hope you're right about this going down a few weeks, because I do want to see him be able to take this team out on the field for their bowl game, because we have seen if this were to go down, we have seen where coaches move on to another job and they don't even participate in the bowl game with their team because they have to go and start getting their preparations for their new job. So I hope it doesn't go down for a few weeks so he can run out on the field with UTSA for their bowl game. That's a big deal for the university and a big deal for all us fans.
I have a feeling that if he leaves, he won't be around for the bowl game.
That stinks.
It does.
If he does.
If he takes another job, I would be shocked unless somehow it's that Fiesta Bowl, which I still think is a long shot even if they stay undefeated, because of the early signing period. His new job that's going to pay him all that money is going to want him in the office because he's got to start recruiting for that new job immediately.
Well, the fan in me the fan in me saying go Sonny Dykes, the guy that really likes Coach Traylor and enjoys him as a man, and then want to see his family do well, say, hey, you know what, props to you, appreciate everything you did for us, and go get him Rambler, go get him Tech.
The fan in me
wants to Sonny Dykes.
The fan in me says it's Texas Tech. Why would anybody want to move to Lubbock? I want Jeff Traylor here for as long as decades, right?
I only moved. I went there one day to move in my cousins that went to Tech, and I didn't stay. And they were like, "Don't drink the water." But this was in the '90s.
Yeah,
I hope they got drinking
changed.
Water now.
Bottles. They bust it in, every 3 weeks. I don't know. I'm thinking about, dude, you get that new car that the school lets you have, but it looks like it's been sandblasted from those dust storms, and you got dirt in your pool all the time and tumbleweeds, but then you're making that much money, somebody's there to clean it up. Right?
Yeah, 3.5. I can deal with tumbleweed.
Only question I got is Miss Taylor like the desert? Does she like flat? They're from East Texas.
You said, Jason, Southwest is cheap.
Yeah,
they'll be all right.
But for a couple $1 million, there's a lot. I'd love El Paso for a couple $1 million, right?
Absolutely.
Let's go Albuquerque if you have to. I'd go to Las Cruces. I think that'd be a pretty nice
because you get to ski, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, except I don't like cold, so no.
I hate the cold.
I wouldn't do it. It's going to be tough, and Traylor said lots of distractions. Although,
but the good thing is an open week.
He's committed. Actually, it's probably the worst thing. You had a game this week. It's easy to focus in because you got a game.
Okay.
You got an open week.
You know what? That's a great point.
Yeah,
Jason.
We'll see. Let's talk some World Series with Clint Stoerner. He will join us next. We should talk Texans, but good Lord, they blew a 5-0 lead yesterday. No surprise. The Texans did. Nothing.
That is so Texas.
If the Astros blew a 5-0 lead, I think we'd all be pissed. But the Texans, that 5-0 lead, you knew wasn't going to hold up for sure. We'll talk about it with Clint Stoerner coming up in just a couple of minutes here on the Blitz. First, I want to tell you about Garageization. I had a party this weekend at the house. People came over to the house and they asked me, dude, I want to see those shelves in your garage. In fact, one of our friends wanted to see what I had in my garage and then went over to my neighbor Hal's house to see what Garageization did over at Hal's place, because Hal has the overhead racks, the slat walls, all the shelving. If you need organization in your garage, you need to call Garageization at 210-664-4494. Shelves, overhead racks, closed storage, slat walls. Make your garage functional for the entire family. Don't forget about that floor either. Get that garage floor sealed for more reasons than just to make it look good. You think about getting both cars in the garage, your golf clubs, the kids' bikes, all of it. Love your garage again by calling Garageization. They're a great veteran-owned company. They've been around since 2008, so for a long time they've been helping San Antonians love their garage. Call them, have them come out to your house, give you a customized plan for your garage. Learn more at their website. For Garageization, go to garageorganizationsanantonio.com. That's garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
I'm Dr. Torres with the Institute for Functional Health, San Antonio's original holistic health clinic. Holistic does not mean complementary or alternative. It means we look at the whole picture. We've changed thousands of lives, and your overall health is our passion.
I no longer have to take sleeping pills, no blood pressure medication, or cholesterol pills. My insurance changed from high risk to standard.
I take 0 medications and said goodbye to sinus infections. I finally feel normal.
I no longer have anxiety attacks and have stopped taking pre-diabetic medication and sleeping pills.
I've lost 30 pounds, have more energy than ever before, have no pain, and my labs are perfect.
When things seem out of control, the one thing that we can control is your health. You will have a customized doctor-supervised wellness plan that gets to the root of the problem instead of masking symptoms. You get results, not refills. At the Institute for Functional Health, your overall health is our passion. Call 210-468-1891 for your free consultation. 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Central Builders Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture yourself at DQ on Thursday, October 28th for Miracle Treat Day. You roll up to order a Blizzard with your friends and family like you have so many times before. But on this day, every flavor comes with a much-needed dose of hope. For every Blizzard you buy at participating locations, $1 or more will be donated to your local Children's Miracle Network hospital, making Miracle Treat Day the most satisfying way to give hope to kids in your community. Thursday, October 28th at DQ.
At Allstate, we've been saying you're in good hands for a long time. But what exactly does that mean? Does it mean you're protected from life's uncertainties? Does it mean you can worry less and live a little more? Does it mean you're not alone, even when things get kind of hard? Actually, yes. Yes, it does. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
For over 2 centuries, Jim Beam has been bringing people together. Now you can bring them wherever you go with friends and family. Introducing Jim Beam Highballs to go, refreshing and ready for sharing. Their classic highball and Beam and Ginger Highball are made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. They're a new take on a tradition, 7 generations in the making. Find Jim Beam Highballs to go at a store near you. Jim Beam Classic Highball made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, natural flavors, and seltzer water. 5% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2020 James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Your exclusive home for the 2021 World Series. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're out at 1911 Cigars on Main Street in Cibolo. Here to watch some Monday Night Football tonight. Having a big old party. The food truck is going. The wings are fantastic. You got free beer. Yeah, free beer. Yinglings is what I see over there in that cooler. Come hang out with us. Watch some Monday Night Football. Right now, though, as we do every week, we talk with our buddy Clint Stoerner, former Cowboy quarterback, does radio down in Houston on Sports Radio 610. Clint, if we were calling and talking about a 5-0 blown lead, I think most of us would think Astros. That's what the Texans did yesterday. I'd rather talk Astros, man. Because you knew that 5-0 lead wasn't going to hold up for Houston. Let's talk Stros, bro.
Yeah, man, let's go, man. I mean, it's obviously the World Series cranks up tomorrow, and this is going to be a lot of fun, man. I mean, it's hard to believe given what happened with McCullers that the Astros, and given how that ALCS started, it's hard to believe that the Astros they won that series in 6, and they're sitting here fully loaded for the World Series, man. This is going to be a big one.
Clint, so many people love to hate the Astros now for what happened in 2017. Is there some satisfaction amongst the Astros fans that you're around there in Houston all the time that they're back under the microscope that they have been under for the last couple of years?
I mean, back under the microscope in what terms? I mean, just being on that stage and being
knowing that they got back and they didn't have to bang trash cans or use buzzers to get there. I mean, the stink that's with 2017 is always going to be there. I look at this team, and there's nothing fishy going on there because the microscope has been on them. Every fan base hates Houston right now except Houston. And, it seems like the Astro fans in San Antonio have embraced that.
Well, yeah, look, I think they embraced the black sheep. I think they embraced the fact that they were probably unfairly made the face of a Major League Baseball wide issue. And they embraced that part of it. And I think the fan base grew because of it. There's a lot of people that like the black sheep approach. And then I think now when you look at it, they've made their third World Series in 5 years. And there's no doubt about it. As you said, I mean, they have been watched as closely as any Major League Baseball organization has been watched over the years, and they're back in the big dance. And there's no doubt that they did it, without any of the sign stealing, without any of the accusations that came with the 2017 investigation, or I guess it's 2019 investigation. Yeah, man, I would think that there's a big portion of the fan base that can sit back now and say, we told you that we were that good and that the sign stealing was not the only reason that we won the World Series in 17.
Clint Stoerner joining us here on the Blitz as he does every Monday. Clint, you think about the setup for this World Series, and I was really, really hoping it would be the Dodgers. Instead, it's the Braves. What kind of problems are the Braves going to offer?
Well, I mean, look, there is solid lineup as you're going to find in baseball, especially right now. A couple of guys are hot, and they've got legit. Charlie Morton, we all know, it's damn sure in Houston, we know how good Charlie Morton is. If it wasn't with his time in the Astros, you can check his time with the Rays, in which they kept the Astros from going to another World Series, and he's not even their ace. And so, I mean, they've got plenty of pitching. They've got a lineup that's hotter than a firecracker. The only problem is I think the Braves have caught the only team in Major League Baseball that's got a hotter, deeper, better lineup. And right now, I know they don't have their ace, Lance McCullers, but boy, between Brent Strom and these young, talented pitchers, they sure have found a way to right the ship and win some ball games. So, we'll see what the series bring. The Dodgers Astros probably would have brought a little bit more national attention, a little more national appeal. But I think the Astros Braves series is going to be all we want in the World Series. It's going to be entertaining.
What do the Astros do with their outfield against Atlanta?
Ooh, that's the question, right? I mean, I think it's the hottest question right now about the Astros and about this series. Dusty Baker, let's be honest, he doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of decisions to make game to game. I mean, who's going to be the center fielder? And when you make that decision, that guy's inserted into the 8-hole in this batting lineup. So outside of that, I think Brent Strom probably makes a good chunk of the pitching decisions, and Baker decides on that 8-hole hitter. So up until now, I think it's been pretty. At least the playoffs have been pretty clear cut. Who's going to be in the 8-hole? There's a couple of options, and Dusty's making that decision. Now he's got to decide when they get to the National League ballpark in Atlanta for game 3, 4, and 5, who's going to be in center field? Like, how's he going to handle his outfield? I think it's a no-brainer, Jason. I think you move Tucker to center field, you move Brantley to right field, and you put Alvarez in left. Those bats are too important. You can't afford to have one of the best hitters, whether it's Alvarez or Brantley, that you sit on the pine. You can't put one of the best American League hitters in the game on the bench in the World Series. So I think that's what he's got to do. I think that's what he ultimately does do. But he's got some decisions to make, and it's not the 8-hole hitter. That's for damn sure.
Clint Stoerner joining us here on the Blitz, former Cowboy quarterback, now does radio in Houston at Sports Radio 610. And at least you get the World Series to distract you, because the Texans are getting tougher and tougher to watch as the weeks go on. I mean, I know the offense has been very vanilla. The defense has been very vanilla. And even yesterday, I mean, it just kind of felt like those dudes aren't even competing.
Yeah, man. Look, I mean, defensively, they've got some problems, man. I mean, Lovie Smith is vanilla as they come, and when it's one thing to be a high percentage cover 2 football team on the defensive side of the ball, but they are so vanilla that they're lining up in 10 seconds before the ball snapped. Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury are able to look and target and know exactly where they're going to be, what coverage they're going to be in. And when you don't force the quarterback, at least a quarterback of that caliber, if you don't force him to process pre-snap and post-snap, then you're just not making him work. You're not putting your defense in a position to be successful. And Lovey's doing that a lot of the times. It's tough to watch.
What do you do? I mean, well, they've been outscored 102-8 in their last 3 road games. I mean, that sounds like a bad high school team in a district that they probably shouldn't be in. That shouldn't happen in the NFL.
No, it shouldn't. And I mean, the thing, Buffalo, you can understand. They're probably one of the top 3 teams in the AFC. They got a really good defense. The weather was bad. The crowd was loud. It was a rookie quarterback. You could probably understand where they would struggle a bit. But since then, it's been Indianapolis. And I know Matt Eberflus in Indy is a good defensive coordinator. But I don't know that he's 102-8 defensive coordinator, if that makes sense. And so, look, they've come up against some good defenses, but there's no excuse for what we've watched offensively. I think they have taken protect the young quarterback, protect the rookie quarterback. They've taken it way too far. And, I mean, Jason, they didn't even get in the red zone this past week. And Arizona's good. Don't get me wrong. Arizona's a good football team. But to never even get in the red zone and give your team a chance to kick a field goal or score a touchdown, man, it's bad, and they got to change some things there as well. And look, here's the deal: if that's going to be the approach offensively, Jay, then they've got to go back to Tyrod Taylor and make something happen.
Well, that was the next question. When Taylor's healthy, is he going to play? Is Tyrod going to get his job back, or is it going to be more of this? And I don't know what David Culley's supposed to say, but I don't want to hear that Davis Mills is doing everything we asked him to do, because if that's what you're asking him to do, dude, you should probably be fired too.
You're exactly right. I mean, he didn't turn the football over, and you got skull drugged. So clearly there's more to the problem than just turning the football over. So, look, I believe the right thing to do for the organization is leave Davis Mills in there, open up the offense, and go play football. If he turns it over, so be it. Hey, if he sinks his own ship, so be it. At least you know what you have. What they can't do is what they did last week, which is go in there and be happy with him checking the football down. Whether that's him or that's by game plan, either way it goes, you just can't. That can't be the answer. If my options are Tyrod Taylor with a playbook that's completely wide open, or Davis Mills with what we watched this past Saturday, it's a no-brainer. You've got to go back to Tyrod Taylor. I would prefer them open the playbook up and let the young guy play. And, hey, let him make mistakes. Let him turn the ball over. Figure out who you have in Davis Mills. But if that's not the plan, then you got to go back to Tyrod Taylor and at least give your organization a chance to put a respectable product out there week in, week out.
As bad as it is watching, I don't know, say Zach Wilson with the Jets, as awful as that has been, or, I think I'd rather see that than what I'm seeing out of the Houston Texans that just look like they're just trying to get through the next 3 hours like we are at a dentist office. Like, all right, 3 hours, man, get these things pulled. You gave me the Novocaine. I'm numbed up, and let's just get through it so we can all go home.
Well, Jay, the difficult thing is that we're watching a team offensively that's not very good at any position across the board. Not one position on the offense are would I say that position group is performing at an average NFL level. That's the problem. The offensive line stinks. The offensive line is not physical in any way, shape, or form. They've got 4 running backs on this football team, and not one of them is as talented as the kid that I watched. Who was it last week? Their third stringer, Cleveland Browns' third stringer, Dearness Williams, I think his name was. Dearness is his first name.
Well, and that was a kid who had nobody. It's a great story, Clint, if you hadn't heard it. A couple years ago, he DM'd every Alliance of American Football team asking for an opportunity, and Steve Spurrier signed him with the Orlando Apollos. And he hadn't been heard from since until he shows up on national TV on Thursday Night Football and looked like Chubb or Hunt or any of them. And, yeah, why isn't a guy like that down in Houston?
Well, I mean, here's the thing is I've been covering the Texans for 3 years, and I've not seen one running back, and they've been through plenty. I've not seen one running back that the Texans organization wrote a check to that was as dynamic as that guy. I've not seen one. And so the question to me is, how as an organization have you not found one back that's as good or better than the Cleveland Browns' third string back that has a story like you just laid out there? I mean, that's the key. And instead you've got several older backs, David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Rex Burkhead, for crying out loud. I mean, those are your running backs, and you wonder why the product on the football field is so poor, because those are the kind of decisions that you're making. Those are the caliber players that you're writing checks to. And it's wild to think that's where they're at right now.
It's wild to think that one of those guys you just mentioned was involved in a trade for somebody like DeAndre Hopkins. It just seems bizarre. Clint Stoerner joining us here on the Blitz. Clint, we went a couple weeks without talking about Deshaun trade rumors because there was nothing really happening. As the trade deadline approaches, it seems like some things are happening. Do you think a deal gets done before the deadline on Tuesday?
Oh, man. Yeah, I think if I had to put money on it, I'd put money on a deal happening before Tuesday. And the only reason is because John McClain, who is a good friend and a good friend of the station, comes on the show. Man, he made a drastic turn last week, and really, I mean, because he was the guy like, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen until the off the field stuff clears up. It's never going to happen until the off season. And then, boy, he made a drastic change. I personally know John. I trust that John has some inside information from somebody. And so when he did that 180 and not only said that he would be traded, but said that he would be playing for the Miami Dolphins, I think for him to make that kind of statement, he obviously has spoke to someone inside that building. So it's not what I've heard or I mean, it's not what I know or who I've talked to. It's more about my respect for John McClain and my belief that there's really some fire where this smoke is.
I agree, and I said the same thing on my show. If John McClain says it, I'm going to take that to the bank. And if the football gods are paying attention, Deshaun Watson will make his Dolphins debut against the Houston Texans in 2 weeks.
Boy, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know if he ever gets on the field this year, but I can make a strong case for why the Miami Dolphins should aggressively pursue him. I can make a strong case for why the Carolina Panthers should aggressively pursue him before the trade deadline, not next off season, before the draft, right? I mean, you can literally eliminate a good chunk of the competition in terms of teams that are going to be interested in Deshaun Watson by doing it now. You look at Miami lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars 2 weeks ago in London. Carolina lost to the Giants this past weekend. Both of those teams, the wheels have come off. If you make a move now and Deshaun Watson gets if he gets disciplined and he ends up having to miss games, you'd rather him miss games this year in a season that's already gone down the drain, and then start new next year, than make the move in the off season and potentially having discipline next year. So I think there's probably some traction there for those two football teams. Yes, sir.
It's going to be interesting to see how it certainly plays out. Clint Stoerner from Sports Radio 610, former Cowboy quarterback. Always appreciate the time, my friend. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the World Series. I'm jealous.
You got it, brother. Y'all be good, man.
Clint Stoerner here on the Blitz, as he is every Monday. Little Texans talk, more Astros talk. Astros Braves World Series Game 1 tomorrow. You can listen to it right here on Sports Radio 610, or you can even watch it where I'm watching Monday Night Football right now, or when the pregame stuff at 1911 Cigars out here in Cibolo. It's on Main Street. 1911 Cigars, a great venue. It's a beautiful outdoor patio. They've got free beer tonight if you want to come out and hang out. That's right. Those are two of the best words in the English language. Free beer. And it's available to you here at 1911 Cigars. They've got Plasencia cigars out here. Buy 4, get 1 free. These are high-quality cigars. Got one in my hand that will get lit here momentarily. It's going to be a good night to come out here to 1911 Cigars. Watch the Saints and the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. We'll talk more about it as we continue. Pledges tell me to wrap up this segment. Let me tell you about injuries. If you're dealing with any kind of injuries, you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. He also has telemedicine services available. There's no reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490, 804-5490, or learn more online, tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
For $1,000 now, enter the winning keyword, sports. SPORTS, sports at SASportsStar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You know you want the best water quality for your family. Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned, family-run business. I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners in my home for about a decade. They are fantastic. And right now they've got bundles available to you with special pricing. So go to the website, alamowatersofteners.com. Schedule an appointment. Have one of their specialists come out and test your water. You'll get a free water analysis and a customized plan for your family and home. They'll talk to you about how many people are living in the house, how many showers are you taking a day, and all the different kinds of stuff. So you get what you need for your home. You could choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle. Get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, a +1 filter, and a reverse osmosis system. That's while supplies last. Now is the time to take advantage of bundle pricing on Alamo Water Softeners, high efficiency and advanced technology. Do like I've done. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
This flu season update is sponsored by Exergen. It's easy to put off a flu shot. The season is long, but CBS News' Dr. Tara Narula says you should get one as soon as you can.
We all think of the flu as, well, it's just the flu, but the reality is the flu can have serious consequences. It can evolve into other complications.
Fever is the #1 COVID symptom, so be safe with an accurate thermometer. Only Exergen is proven accurate in more than 100 studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
At CDW, we get the right network makes remote locations seem less remote.
Great, because my data is lagging out here.
CDW can orchestrate the Aruba Edge Services platform, bringing computing closer to where data is created. It automates, unifies, and secures the edge, fixing problems before they impact your business, giving your network a sixth sense. Someone at the door?
Just a moose. He works here.
Aruba and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Welcome to Texas, where the sun is beaming down and can damage the interior of your car, even in lower temperatures. Unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo since 1984.
1984? That's impressive.
Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. San Antonio and Austin stores. motherswindowtint.com.
Remember, do it at Mother's and save!
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local HEB and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
O'Reilly. Syntec is back and better than ever at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec is a premium full synthetic motor oil option at an affordable price. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec full synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $31.99. Syntec is formulated for today's engines to minimize friction, heat, and wear. Try Syntec today exclusively at
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Saturday afternoons mean one thing: college football.
Oh my God!
Hear games from all Power 5 conferences all season long, every Saturday from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Greeny on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Yes, we had Jeff Traylor on about an hour ago. Yes, we asked the questions. No, he didn't give you a straight answer, but he gave you the best he could under the current situation. If you missed the interview, it'll be at sasportstar.com momentarily. You can find it on our Twitters and all that kind of stuff.
It's already there.
Probably hear some of the stuff on Channel 5 tonight, Channel 4. Greg Lucas writing about it in the Express. Go listen to Jeff Traylor's interview. Come hang out with us. We're at 1911 Cigars over here in Cibolo. This is a great spot for Monday Night Football for the World Series tomorrow. That'll do it for us. Time for me to go smoke. We'll see you, boys.
Do you have what it takes to rock the mic?
Hey, this is RJ Ochoa.